No, dude, I already picked up another one.
And I'm putting the second one.
You did not pick up the second one. Oh, fuck! Don't clip that, Vicious.
It means my flashlight. Totally okay. Yeah, keep that thing on. Keep that video on.
Oh, shit! Oh, fuck! I'm so sorry! I can't. I'm sorry, I'll remember you.
You have to roll a 4-up. A whole 4-up.
Yeah. All right, I roll a 3.
How did you do that?
I rolled all ones.
Dude, people gotta find this, like, you're an anomaly.
Bro, all ones.
It's not good, but
That is fucking nuts.
Of the
a 7.
Thing, you rolled into 7, yeah.
I have 1 CP left. Jesus Christ,
Oh, yes.
Nurgle, be with me here.
Snake eyes.
Oh my God.
I called it.
He manifested
I
it.
did.
Fuck. Yo, one of you fart or eat something right now. Fart for me. Fart for me on stream. Fart for me, streamer.
Dude, I farted. Yo, what is up? Dude, that little freaking last little part there where the lightning bolts and the Wicked City thing come up, it's freaking dope. Gives me that little stank face every time I see it. I'm like, yeah, that's fucking awesome.
a little stank face.
I have to say that I haven't seen the new intro yet. It was pretty awesome. I
Yeah,
like it.
you haven't seen it, really?
No, that was the first time. Yeah, it was super cool.
Yeah, we need to get you in there, actually.
I love the 4-1s for sure. The 4-1s really got me.
Oh yeah, I heard you laugh. That I was like, I couldn't tell if that was from the video or if that was you laughing.
Yeah, I was
Not hard to find footage of that.
Yeah,
Always
no, it is.
bountiful here.
Dude, there's so many clips of me rolling ones that I'm like, I can't put all these in there. I have to put the best one in there. So
Yeah.
But today we are discussing Cody's experience at the World's Championship. We're gonna discuss a little bit of the detachment for the Space Marines, the Blade of Ultramar, and how stupid it is. And I've got a couple of Jukari lists that I put together. Natty, what's up? Good to see you. And just so you guys know, I have unfortunately disabled a lot of the redeemables because we're talking, and I know once Jim gets in here, once he gets that syrup in him, he gets all antsy in the pantsy with it. So Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
I almost won. Sadly, I wasn't top. I wasn't Macaulay Clockin'. You know?
Oh my God. Yeah.
His new name. Had to throw it in there. You know, I'm stealing this. It wasn't me that came up with it. It was Cody that came up with it. But I felt it paramount.
No.
Macaulay Gluck Gluck.
That was definitely appropriate. We are and just a forewarning too. We are all running a little slow. John is just slow because it's John. I'm running a little slow because the wife had a little bit of a health scare, and I have been paranoid, staying awake, making sure she's breathing all the time. So I haven't gotten a lot of sleep, and I know Cody has been working his little tail off. So he is also a little tired. He got on there, and I was like, bro, we can't all be sitting here like, hey, man, how's it going? I'm like,
only be one zombie.
we're all, yeah, we're all dying. It was a hard event to judge,
Vestigial.
but I did my part. What? Oh, talking about the world championship of, so, you know, the.
Oh
you know,
yeah.
But
No.
Cody, yeah, the glut, yeah. You got to attend the World's Championship. So who gets to go? For anybody who doesn't know, how does the World's Championship work? How do you get into it? And what is the, you know, what's it like? Uh-oh.
Yeah, so well, I guess first and foremost, like it was definitely an incredible opportunity. Second year in a row I got to go. The first year that I went, or really both years, I actually got tickets at two different events. The way that it works is that it's a qualifier only, so or invitational only, if you want to say it that way. But there's this pretty large now, something like over 400 events or 400 tickets available around the world for specific qualifier events, and those qualifier events are basically tournaments who have been held for multiple years in a row and have a certain amount of players that attend that event for consistently for those years. That event can qualify to have essentially a qualifier ticket available to be given away to the winner of the event. And you can only ever have one ticket, so if you have a ticket and you win another event that offers a ticket, it'll get passed down to the next person, someone who would have won it, basically, in theory, if you weren't there. And yeah, so if you win one of those particular qualifying events, you'll get a golden ticket, and then the last 3 years it's been held in Atlanta. 3 years ago, I was very close to getting one, and I didn't get one. Last year, I got one at an event out of Orlando called Crucible. And this year, I got it out of an event at the beginning of the year called Mayhem. And I actually got pretty fortunate because I kept falling short for most of the year. I kept getting to like the final table and losing like in round 6, and ended up going 5-1. I did like a lot of 5-1s this year, where I would get all the way to the top table, be literally playing for the ticket, and then I would lose pretty unceremoniously as well. So I had a pretty frustrating like competitive year, but I ended up still getting a ticket and still being able to go, and it was a great opportunity. And yeah, I was thrilled to be there. It's definitely the most fun I ever had playing Warhammer the entire year, for sure, is at the World Championships.
Oh, that's hurtful. All right. Well,
No offense.
nah, just kidding, man.
Just a quick interjection. I was de-invited from Worlds. They were like, "You're too good. Stay away. We've seen your record. We've never seen so many losses. You scare us." So they just kind of shunned me out of it, you know.
No, yeah, I know what you mean by that 5-1, because I got to witness some of it at our tournament that we held.
Yeah.
Yeah, those you definitely are sometimes on par with my rolls.
Yeah.
I've watched you do it multiple times. I remember watching you on stream. I don't remember what tournament you were at, but you were at some tournament where you had a Demon Prince and you completely whiffed. Like,
Oh,
you
it was
rolled
my
like,
Bloodthirster. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of the tournaments I missed the golden ticket on stream. Yeah.
oh, was it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was playing for a ticket. That was in North Carolina in Mayhem, where I had to kill a wounded Armiger with a Bloodthirster, so that my Bloodthirster could, because it was the Bloodthirster that has the enhancement from Shadow Legion. After I kill something, I can go into Deep Strike and basically disappear from the board and be kind of almost uninteractable. And he had like I think he had 5 wounds Yeah, I'm pretty sure he only had 5 wounds left when I hit him with my Bloodthirster, and he gets no save from me. So like, statistically speaking, I only need like 2 wounds to get through out of 7 attacks.
You rolled like
And I
all
rolled like
ones.
3 ones to hit and three ones to wound. And I only wounded him one time. I did like 3 damage, and he saved one of them on a feel no pain. And then it still isn't over because the Bloodthirsters do mortals at the end of the fight phase, so I still have a chance to kill him and go up into the sky. On average, I do it, and I whiffed on the mortals as well, and left him on like 2 wounds. And then he didn't even fail battle shock, so he was just able to fall back, and he picked up my Bloodthirster in 1 round, and pretty much was downhill the rest of the game from there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Natty, it wasn't on Twitch. It was on his only hammer. That was a bad joke.
Really got to get a sound.
There was
board.
a Warhammer got what's his name? What's the guy's name? War Games Live, I think. He's the one who does like a lot of events. He travels around and just streams the events. Not a particularly like strong or weak player himself. He's just like a person who just streams events. So he goes from travels the US in like an RV, I believe, and just streams Warhammer.
Yeah, I plan on doing something similar. I'm like halfway to his setup right now, so I'm not far.
Oh,
I
that's
mean,
cool.
yeah. Well, I say halfway. I've got way more that I need to do. I've got
You got
one
an
of the.
RV, dude?
Well, that's the. All right, so I do need that. That's a big. I plan on getting
That's
an
a big
RV
one.
when I retire, though. But anyway, I like his only hammer. Yeah, we need to do something with that only hammer.
Yeah.
That's a good.
Honestly, this is kind of insane, but technically, OnlyFans is used for more than just porn. So, am I allowed to use that word?
What?
Is that
Yeah,
like a?
Yeah.
That's
No, it's fine.
Okay.
that's
Yeah. So like,
that's a lie. dude.
OnlyFans never was originally for porn. It was for other things like art and stuff, almost like a streamer based like Etsy.
Oh, man, that's
Not anymore.
they
No,
should have known how
certainly
that
not
was going to
anymore.
go.
You remember when they tried to like take the porn off and like immediately just like tank their freaking
Yeah.
stock and
I s-
everything?
I
The-
saw
the
that they
age-old-
did what did they do last year? Like 1.8 billion or something in
Yeah.
revenue.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, dude. There's a lot of thirsty dudes out there. Anyway, so our buddy Andrew had some questions for you.
Cool.
And this is actually a good one. How did you approach list building for an event like Worlds?
Oh man. Well, so I think one of the most important things to do is that like you have to know that at an event like Worlds, you're going to have a lot less people playing like skew lists, a lot less armies, a lot less players are going to have like, I think if you go to an average event right now, or you play like a competitive game at like your local shop, an RTT, even GTs, you're going to find even good players are going to have units in their armies that just maybe don't synergize well or are just a little inefficient for what they do, stuff like that. And as you get to an event like Worlds, the armies stop having those units. So when you play against an army, you're playing against a real full 2,000 points. An example of this would be something like, certain vehicles in the game just are like very underperforming for their points value. Certain units are, and some people will bring those in their lists because they like them, they think they're cool, they paint them fun, stuff like that, and you'll just won't see those units at Worlds. Yeah, I guess that's just like the best way I can say it. So for that reason, you have to know that you have to optimize your list right off the bat, regardless of what you're playing against. You can't have those types of units in your list, or even units that may be good in some lists just aren't good in your particular detachment, right? Like if you're playing like Stormlance for Spaceful Stormlance list, which is all advance and charge, and you start taking a bunch of shooting units that aren't good in melee, you're being very inefficient with your list. And that type of thing is you're just not going to see those types of things. You're going to see really strong lists with all super efficient units across the board. And then you have to know that some armies right now are just stronger than others. So you have to build a with the current meta in mind, and then B, you have to play with the part that probably a large majority of players are building with the current meta in mind, and you need to also plan for that.
Hold on a sec. Sorry. Hey, Docs. Thank you so much for the follow. We're sitting here discussing Cody's experience going to Worlds. We're gonna be getting some games in pretty soon too. We have kind of been a little lacking on the streams lately, but we're gonna fix that. But definitely appreciate the follow. You actually just got us to 300. How awesome is that?
That's awesome.
That.
Cody seems like a great dude. Well,
he does seem like a good dude.
I mean, he's
Appreciate it.
You gotta glaze him.
He might be a buddy of mine, so this might be a.
I was gonna talk shit, but I'm like, maybe they actually don't know you, so like I was.
Actually, Docs is our local Drukari professional.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Well,
man after your own heart.
Yeah. I've got some lists that I put together for most of the detachments that we're going to talk about later, so you can tell me how fucked up I am.
Big fucked, but I mean that's the Drukari way.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is.
Very apropos.
Oh, Docs, you might be interested. I actually I just created some 3D prints that I'm selling right now. Not trying to sell you on it. Not that's not like that. No, I swear it's not like that. I was just super proud of it.
Yo, that was the most fucked up sell I've ever heard.
Because it wasn't. I'm not trying to sell. It wasn't like that. No.
For you, my friend, very good price.
No,
for real. Price in case you are interested.
What I need you to do is I need you to get a gift card. Right? but don't cash it. You need to send me the number on the.
You got a Coinbase account? I need those numbers. I got to get into it.
Yeah, let me get some of that.
I'm a prince from Nigeria.
Let me get.
I will. I'm out of the country right now. My niece needs her cell phone.
Let me get some of that Ethereum, dude.
Why do they always go with like? Why don't they ever go with like Middle East? Like I'm a Saudi prince. You know, I feel like that's a little bit more appropriate because then it's believable. Because like. Dude, everybody there's a prince.
Yeah,
they got so much money.
Yeah, but they're way more. It's probably
a prince can't get on a plane.
It's probably a lot harder to find a Nigerian prince on social media than it is for a Saudi prince. So you want me to buy all your grotesque courts and beast packs? They're coming back, dude. I'm hoping that they're gonna come back. No. They're actually. I was super proud of it, man. I made a bunch of pain tokens that says like ooh daddy, dommy mommy, dommy daddy, and like just put it in, and yeah, it's like a whole bunch of fucked up shit. I got like 15 of them on my thing. I was and then I've got also ones that just say pain token on it, which is super lame. But anyway, now that I've done my plug-in for my
for real, your plug.
I didn't mean it. I really didn't mean it like that.
Let's just keep going on and keep plugging stuff.
Oh yeah, by the way, no, I'm just kidding.
I also have a bank. You can put your money there. You can store things. Just go crazy with it.
But yeah, so list building, you know, and I get what you're saying about things like there's a lot less like inefficiency in the lists, but is there when, and I know you don't have, you generally play like lists that have usually have a lot of monsters in it and stuff like that, which actually kind of surprised me that you went with what's it called, with Gene Stealer cults, because I don't think they have a lot like that.
No, and you know what's really interesting, and you know, maybe I'm like doing myself a disservice, but like I really play like Monster Mash. Like I guess as a player, I guess my style kind of is like, I guess like out of the meta stuff, like because I think it's really good into the meta, and then on top of that, I normally play like a lot of monsters and stuff in my lists, like a lot of greater demons or stuff like that, and the second worlds in a row where I just kind of like went off script of my own script at the very end and ran like Muscle Beach. I did 2 years in a row. Which kind of is in a weird way, kind of, it's like monstrous infantry, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I spammed like 20 T6 bodies with a 5-up Feel No Pain.
Yeah. Trevor, I was talking to Trevor. Trevor was the guy that you played for the final table at my GT.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He had nothing but amazing things to say about you. He's like, great dude, awesome guy. He's like, he is a phenomenal player. You know, he even said it himself. He's like, dude, I kind of botched my deployment, and if it wasn't for the fact that he rolled so bad, he could have. He was like, he could have taken me. Like, he's like, I definitely got lucky. That dude, you got to be on your toes around that guy. So he had nothing but really nice things to say.
Yeah, there was a he just like, I think he kind of like autopiloted his deployment, not expecting. So like in my particular army, I was playing Biosafety Brood Surge, which is a detachment built around aberrants and gene stealers for gene stealer cults. And if you don't know what an aberrant is, he's basically a mutated, juiced up like hybrid between a human and a gene stealer, but just like way too much testosterone and anabolic steroids during birth. And he's got like an extra arm, and
it's like the Liver King.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a bunch of Liver Kings running around. That's horrifying.
If you should pull up a picture of it and throw it on the stream, because they're actually a really cool model. Like they literally carry like a signpost that they ripped out of the ground. It still has the cement on the bottom of it.
They are a cool model.
Those are cool models. Yeah, and they kind of slap. And the detachment's got some really, really crazy tricks in it. I would actually say, compared to Gene Stealer cults as a whole, it's actually a pretty straightforward list. It's a list that just kind of runs at you and cages you and doesn't let you score and does a ton of damage and is not actually very easy to kill despite it being infantry. I have like there you go. It's such a cool model. I love it.
That is a cool model.
On Tuesdays.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. Yeah, definitely feel like that on Tuesdays.
That's a Tuesday face if I ever saw one.
So they move 6. They are T6, 5-up Feel No Pain. While they're led by a character, they're -1 to wound if it's over their toughness. Now they only have a 5-up armor save, right? But what I often do is, so I have a 10-man group and 2 5-mans. And the 10-man group is led, all the groups are led by Abominants, which is like a even juiced up version of them. And there's an enhancement for the detachment that gives him and his squad infiltrate and free heroic. So what I did was I was putting him almost every game in the 10-man squad and infiltrating 10-man aberrants up the field. And then I get a really crazy charge strat out of them. So there's a charge strat in Biosafety Brood Surge. So the detachment already gives them +1 to charge. And whenever I charge, everyone gets +1 attack. So right off the bat, I'm already doing pretty solid. Well, the strat gives an additional +1 to charge per target I charge. Which, if you think about it, it's kind of crazy. It's only capped at 3, but if I pick 3 targets to charge, like I did against your buddy at the event, I infiltrated very aggressively with my 10-man squad, and because he just autopiloted his deployment in his back corner on layout 1, I moved forward and had +4 to my charge and charged his whole army on turn 1. And trapped him in his deployment zone. And I was doing the math, and I should have been able to pick up his Morven Vol on turn 1, but just on averages. And instead, I only killed a single Paragon Warsuit because of how poorly I rolled and how well he rolled.
Yeah.
And then it was really bad from there. Honestly, the game was still I still have potential to win the game because he was so trapped in his deployment zone. Morven Vol didn't even come out of her back corner until like turn 4. That's how like trapped in her deployment zone she was.
Oof. Yeah, I was watching that. I'm like, I was very surprised that that you lost. To be honest, I was kind of just like moving around, kind of just checking on everybody, and I was like, man, I remember asking him like, what turn are you on right now? I'm like, like nothing has changed. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But
hold on, I got this. Dice tell stories.
Yes.
Yes, you gotta plug it. Come on, guys.
I thought it was gonna be way more epic than that. I'm not gonna lie. Like it was very, very anticlimactic.
I'm gonna turn my camera off. Don't listen to any of
Yeah.
the weird noises happening in the background. See you guys
What weird
later.
noises, dude? What are you? No,
I don't
no.
know. I don't know, dude.
I'm gonna be making
I don't know where
animal
we just-
noises.
I don't know
okay.
where this conversation just went. That was
Yeah, who knows? It could be dark. It could be dark. It could be weird. Who knows?
Yeah, it's like we forget
Stay
we're streaming.
tuned.
We're
Yeah.
just
yeah, for real.
we're just like, this is what bros do, right?
Yeah,
Right? Totally.
just
Just
smoking some meat with the boys, with the guys. Smoking some meat. That's Zuckerberg reference. I don't
Yep.
think anybody gets
Yeah,
it.
it was-
I'm
it
not
was-
funny. I'll shut up. I'll stop. So Worlds. I have my own question for Worlds.
Yeah, hit me.
Was there anything that was, I'm not going to say not expected because these are probably the lists that have been played in the competitive circuit, but was there anything that did a lot better than was like previously thought?
Yeah, so
Drukari.
actually, yes and no. I mean, you have a couple players who did very well with Drukari, but for certain reasons, I'd rather not touch on some of those things. But I think the list that probably surprised me the most was John Lennon and his Emperor's Children. I mean, John Lennon is arguably the best player in the world. I mean, he's now lost he's now gotten like towards the top of the list for the last few. I think he got third or fourth this year at Worlds. In the last 2 years in a row, he went second, and he took Emperor's Children, and they've been very not super strong for a while now. And I think maybe he just found like a niche in the meta, and it allowed him to kind of take over. And then at the end of the day, Worlds was won by Admech, and Admech hasn't been top like that anyway. Hasn't been like just running over events. But Richard Siegler, I mean, he won 9. I don't know if he played a shadow round, so he won at least 8 games in a row against the top talent in the world with Admech. So I'd say definitely them.
Real quick, Miss Seafoam, how are you? You get a shout out. Vicious didn't because she's stupid and lame. Ironglat, hey buddy, that's Andrew. I have turned off most of the redeems. Just because we're discussing things, and unfortunately, Vicious can't be trusted with redeems because she will spam the chat with redeems.
Andrew said rude. I agree, dude. Don't worry. I'll get you your money's worth. I'll do every single one of them in my voice. You just won't hear me. I'll turn my mic off, though.
I also turned them off because I was recently on Vicious's stream, and I just was popping all those redeems like nonstop where she couldn't hear John talking.
You've given me your loyalty.
Hey!
Brave. Or
Miss-
stupid.
Miss
Or
Seaf-
both.
Okay. Talford is done talking.
Found one. That's funny. Found one.
Hell yeah. Keep hitting that one. No, definitely.
And you want to plug your business, dude?
Oh, yeah. By the
no.
way. No.
Just keep-
Thank you so
sorry,
much,
sorry.
Vicious. Very, very much appreciated. There is no Daddy Chill redeem. I took it off. The only one. Actually, I'm not going to tell you which one. You guys are just going to have to figure it out.
Yeah, you have to. It's a hint. It's the one that costs 100,000. Changed all the prices.
But did you say what you wanted to say about the performance of the armies that you didn't think were going to perform well?
Yeah. I mean, those are the 2 armies that I think did the better than I expected. Some armies that did worse than I expected. I think going into the event, certain armies are just really strong right now. I think the new Imperial Knights are like, I don't know if they're necessarily new. They're a few months old, but I thought Imperial Knights were going to be really strong going into this. I thought there's a really strong Chaos Knight list going around that I'm kind of surprised didn't do as well as I expected. There's like a triple Gatling Despoiler detachment right now that's really, really strong. In fact, Bjorn, captain of this like Team Sweden, was in my pod, and that's what he was running. He was running triple Despoiler with Gatlings. Trying to think about what other. I mean, obviously you have like several different Space Marine detachments, like Shadowmark Talon. I was expecting to see a lot of and to do well, and I did actually see it. Botan has been really strong recently, and they did well at the event, but I thought that was to be expected. Think about
Where was the championship? I don't remember.
Atlanta. It was in
Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. Last 3 years in a row was in Atlanta, and there's rumors that this was the last year, and it's going to be in Atlanta. We won't find out until like February/March when they announce where it's going to be next year, in the tournament series. Maybe January they might announce the tournament series, but there's rumors from pretty reliable sources that it's not going to be in Atlanta. It's going to be somewhere in Europe next year.
Oh, that'll be cool. Yeah, I'll be glad to go to that
More
one.
expensive.
I'm sure I'll get in there.
Well, for
Yeah, the
anybody
band
who
name
wants
for me
to
would be-
attend Worlds, you don't have to qualify. You can always do the narrative. And I will say, I had a friend who did the narrative, and I kept popping in. He was the one I stayed with while at the events, and I kept watching him play, and he seemed like he was having an absolute blast. And he's a competitive player normally. Obviously, he didn't qualify for Worlds, but he's a pretty strong player, and he plays a lot, and he goes to a lot of events. And he said he had more fun playing the narrative than he had any other Warhammer the entire year.
Yeah, actually, narratives is something we're going to be pushing pretty hard down here, like narrative style tournaments. I think what we're going to do is we're going to be holding a competitive style RTT 1 month, and then the next month we're going to be doing a narrative driven one, and then competitive, then narrative, then competitive, then narrative. And then after that, I'm looking to try to do 2 events a year. I'm actually taking, because I think you suggested it to me. You know, you brought up the narrative piece, and I kind of did a little bit of research on it. I was like, man, this looks awesome. So we're going to be doing a competitive. I think we're gonna end up this year. I think we're gonna keep it the same. We're gonna keep our competitive one in October, just because I can't do another competitive tournament in March or April. But we're going to be switching our competitive tournaments to March or April. And then we're going to do the narrative style, the big narrative event. We're going to be pushing into October.
Okay, that makes sense.
Just because I think October is probably a fun. I mean, the narrative stuff will be, we're definitely going to be pushing like the horror stuff because it's October. And
Necron Tomb World.
Sure. Or
Necron. It's almost always.
I think you should definitely maybe next year try to go to the narrative at Worlds.
Yeah, I definitely would like to see how it's done, because I have some ideas on how I think it would go, and I know Andrew's kind of heading that up with me right now. We're gonna be, I think we're gonna be meeting up tomorrow to kind of discuss everything, because I'm trying to get like 2 years, 1 year ahead right now, like planning wise. If Fulgrim isn't falling in love on the battlefield, we're doing it wrong. Very fucking true. Yeah, we'll definitely.
It's more like people falling in love with Fulgrim.
Right? Yeah. Right. Yeah. Well, I mean,
tempts people, seduce people.
I'm sure Fulgrim probably, thinks he's falling in love for at least for 5 seconds.
Pretty sure Fulgrim only loves himself, actually.
Yeah. Well, we're covering Emperor's Children soonish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On a side note,
13th.
The coolest thing about the narrative at Worlds is that whatever happens in the narrative is written into the lore going forward. So the narrative is actually what drives the lore now in 40K.
Yeah, I knew they did that before. I didn't know they were still doing it, which is super cool. So, I'm not saying that, we're going to be adding to the lore, but it would be kind of cool. And then we could throw Talvareth in there, and then he could become his own chaos god.
Yeah. Well,
right?
from my understanding, there's still like seats 2, 3, and 4, and anything beyond 9 unaccounted for.
What? Say it again.
Chaos gods 2, 3, and 4, and anything beyond 9 are all unaccounted for.
True.
Talvareth would be 2.
We know there's stories about the first chaos god is dead forever, and we know the 5th is an empty throne that has been kind of confirmed by GW that is actually the Chaos God of Ruin, who would be the Emperor should he rise from the throne. The only thing keeping him from godhood is sitting on the throne, from my understanding right now.
Yeah, I've seen that lore bit. Where they're like, some of the chaos factions. I don't remember which one in particular.
Want him to come off the throne as a new Chaos God?
Yeah, well, not yeah. They want to go kill him so that he becomes a god. Yeah, because they think that what's
sounds like
holding
some
him
Alpha
back.
Legion shit for
I
sure.
think it's Alpha Legion actually. Now that you say that, I think they were like they're basically like we're trying to help. Like stopping us. We're trying to go kill him so that he what's keeping him from actually ascending into godhood is being stuck on the throne. If I ain't kneeling down to suck, oh, good lord, mid battle, then is it really accurate? Yeah, fuck it. Oh, I'll allow it.
I do have a follow-up question for Worlds. This one's very what's the word I'm looking for? Left up to your own opinion.
Okay.
But how do you feel about the balance of the game? Comparatively over your career to now, how does the balance feel? Best it's ever been, middle of the road?
I would actually say, in my opinion, Worlds last year felt more balanced than this year. I feel like there's just some individual units in the game that okay. So I would say across the game is relatively balanced right now. I just think that there's some units in the game, especially in combination with some stratagems or enhancements or something in the game that just feel like not designed well with the rest of the game in mind. And maybe they're not overpowered into certain things, but sometimes a good example of this is like I think and this is just my opinion, but I think probably one of the strongest, if not the strongest point for point model or unit in the game right now for the things that it's capable of and the stratagems that buff it is 10 fire dragons and Fuegan or Fuegan, however you'd like to pronounce it. When you put 10 fire dragons and Fuegan inside of a wave serpent, it's arguably one of the best Swiss Army knives in the game. I mean, because they do well into everything. There's like the only thing they don't really want to shoot is like 20 orc boys inside of Green Tide. Like that's the only thing that they don't want to shoot. Outside of that, the rest of the game is easily killable for them. And their crazy movement shenanigans, they can go out and touch anything anywhere on the board.
And then
like,
just hop back
like
into a vehicle. Yeah.
Yeah, and their points just isn't oppressive enough for it to feel like you are really sacrificing by taking it. It's like an auto include, and I feel like auto include units are just not healthy for the game.
Yeah, it's telling to if they're an auto include, it's probably because there's a balance issue.
Exactly.
And honestly, man,
there's a few units like that.
You could make an argument that you could do Fuegan's beam shot where it's 3 shots at sustain 2.
Yeah.
And you can probably still do okay, like shooting your 10-man unit into a 20-man squad. I mean, you probably
sure. Yeah, and I've it's literally been done to me recently when I was at Crucible. I was playing Dark Angels, and Fuegan shot me with Overwatch. They had 2 shrine tokens still, so he auto 6 2 Overwatch shots with his sustained 2 shots into me.
Yep.
So in Overwatch, and so he rolled 3 dice. One of them was naturally a 6, and he flipped the other 2 into 6s. So he hit me 9 times in Overwatch.
That's so dumb.
From just him, and then he still had his squad.
That
was ridiculous.
So dumb, dude.
Yes, that's just not. Yeah, he did touch my butt.
Well, that's what the flaming dragons are capable of.
The flaming
Yeah,
dragons.
Toss tokens
Fuegan
to a
leading
god
his
of
flaming
dice.
dragons. Unstoppable
Bold.
wrath.
That's
I
just a
like
unit that
that.
needs to be nerfed, in my opinion. Like, I don't know what the right way to deal with them is, but they're a problem. And I think, actually, to be honest, I think the problem isn't necessarily that much with the squad. I think it's with Fuegan, because 10 fire dragons on their own isn't that bad. Fuegan kind of
Makes them
is
ridiculous.
Oppressive.
Vicious. Thank you for the biddies. Thank you. So what and another question Andrew had for you was what was your favorite / most epic moment or moments in
Worlds.
Worlds? Did you hold on. Did you have a lot of orc players there? Was there a lot of wogs going on?
There was a few orc players, but You know, the sad thing is like when you get to like those high competitive levels, right? Like not very many orc players like to scream wah. They're like too
Oh.
embarrassed. They're like I get it's really like they're too embarrassed to do it. I think the entire event I heard one person yell wah once.
Oh.
That's well, you know, honestly, it usually pisses me off initially on accident, you know, because it's like just a knee jerk reaction where I want to punch who's ever next to me doing it. Not because I'm upset
Kyle's
about
lame.
it. Not because
And
I'm
Kyle's
upset about
lame.
it. Not because I'm
Focusing.
upset. No, because it scares the shit out of me, and I don't handle getting scared very well. So like,
It triggers your PTSD.
I mean, I won't go that far, but it definitely is some kind of. There's definitely something there because like people do it next to me. I'm like, what the fuck? You know, I'm like, son of a bitch. I get myself with my alarm to remind myself to take my medicine. Like I will literally be at work walking. It's happened the other day, and my alarm goes off to remind me at 12:45 to take my medicine, and I threw
Tribute accepted. May the next roll
Holy
not
shit.
be a catastrophic one.
Vicious, you're nuts. So just give me a daddy chill before it. Oh God. Well, fuck. Hold on.
Yeah, you got to do it. No, you got to do it. You have to do it with your mouth.
Daddy chill.
These are the rules.
Daddy
That was actually
chill.
really good. Oh my god. Is that the? Did you re-enable it for a second and play it?
No, that was me,
Did you
dude.
know that it's like the actual soundboard sound is just him saying it?
Did you get turned on just now? It sounded like you got a little turned on, dude.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm fucking hot and
You
bothered.
were like,
right
you were
now.
like, oh my
Fucking
God.
sweating.
Is that
I'm
what
getting
that
the
was?
meat sweats.
I'm getting.
the meat sweat's wild. We've been talking about way too much meat on the stream today, for sure.
All right,
It's a
let's
big meat
let's
day.
kick it up a notch. All right, so meat, girth. No, I'm just kidding. I was about to say gird pod.
Gerd pod.
But yeah, I guess to answer the question, yeah, I mean, there was several probably really cool moments and stuff that happened throughout the event, but I think probably the most like the best moment for me that happened in, well, actually, okay, first off, all of the almost every game did I catch my opponent off guard in some way, which and I don't like to do gotchas. I always am very open with my rules because the last thing I want is my opponent to walk away feeling like he got cheated. So I always am very open about my rules ahead of time. I often tell my opponent my entire codex beforehand, and then I still often end up catching players off guard. I think probably the best moment is I think it was in round 5. I was 3-1 going into round 5. So just to give a quick I guess rundown of my event, I lost my first game, which sucks, which means I could not get out of my pod. I lost to a Votan player. That's a whole separate conversation, but I won my next 4 straight, and I was really playing pretty well. I didn't really have any close games. All of my wins were like, my closest win was I won by 40 points. That was the closest game of those wins. Like I kind of blew out the next 4 opponents. And then I played into a Black Templar player, and I ended up dropping that game. And then I dropped the next 2 after that, which sucked. So I ended 4-4, even though I was 4-1 at one point. So that was very disappointing. But yeah, I was playing a Dark Angels player who's running the Lion, and he was playing the Lion and like 2 huge squads of Outriders, and I charged him with my Gene Stealers and my 10-man Aberrant squad on the first turn into his stuff, and I picked up an entire unit of his bikes on the first turn, and you know the Lion starts fighting out and starts killing everything because it's the Lion, and he like kills a squad of my Aberrants. Like I have a 5-man squad of Aberrants. The Abominant's ability is that he can stand up once per game after he dies on a 2-up with full wounds, and he has a power sledgehammer, which is a fucking awesome weapon. It's the only power sledgehammer that I'm aware of in the game. And it's a las cannon in melee. It's strength 12, AP 2, D6 plus 1 damage. And he has 4
Good
attacks base.
God, man, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, dude. And the Lion charged one of them by themselves. And I'm thinking in my head before he charges, like, you know, or he charged a squad of Aberrants that had him involved. And I'm like, you know, he's probably going to chop up my unit. And hopefully, because of the -1 to wound, he doesn't kill the whole squad down to the Abominant. Or if my Abominant does die, he gives the squad 4 fight on death. So if he wipes the squad outright, I still have a chance to fight on death. And he had, I only took like 2 wounds off him at that point, so he's at like 8 wounds right now. And he does exactly that. He comes in, he wipes the squad out. All 5 of my aberrants failed their 4-ups to fight on death, but the Abominant didn't. He fought on death and one-shot the Lion because he failed 2 3-up invuls because the Lion has 2 3-up invuls, and my Abominant stood back up and continued to charge into behind the Lion after
Oh
that.
my god, dude, that's nuts.
Yeah, imagine losing the Lion to a fight on death.
Bro,
Imagine the book they write about that. Oh no.
Yeah, for real.
that's insane,
no.
man. I would have been, by the way, I would have been that guy. That would have been me there that missed 2 3-up invulnerable saves. And I would have been, it would have ruined the rest of the fucking tournament. It probably ruined the rest of the tournament for that poor guy. You know,
Yeah, he charged me, so I think I was hitting him on 3s, right? So I think I only hit him twice, and then I wounded him on 4s because he's -1 to wound, and I wounded him both times, and he rolled, and I was like, I literally said it right before he rolled. It was one of those moments where you like put it out in the ether, and then it happens, and I was like, hey, you could roll 2 1s and 2s.
What a dick.
And then the guy's like, he goes, haha, I've seen crazier, and he rolls it, and it's like 2-2, and I was like, and I look at it, I was like, are you gonna CP it? Because he had a CP, and I forget what it was, but I knew he had already verbalized that he was gonna use a CP somewhere else, and he goes, no, I don't know, and he goes, you know what? Okay, so he did the CP, and he rolled it, and he rolled another 2, so he rolled 3 2s in a row. Which makes it all worse because then he didn't have the CP to do what he wanted to on the objective on the other side of the board. And then I told you he had like 8 wounds, and I rolled which average damage at this point kills him because it's my average is like 9. It's that 7 + 2, so I one-shot him there, and then my Abominant stands back up on a 2-up, and I go and I charge some intercessors that are on his back objective.
That's ridiculous, man.
To put it in perspective, the final score of that game was 96-24 after that. So.
Yeah, I'm sure, dude. Once something like that happens, that was first turn, right?
No, that was like turn 3. I told you, I charged him on turn 1, and the Lion slowly fought his way out of his backfield, but he just couldn't touch an objective. I never let him get onto the objectives in that game. I think we were on, I'm pretty sure it was Burden of Trust, but he was never even able to contest a primary. And I think he scored, actually, I'll tell you right now.
I thought you were
a 0 on primary.
I thought
he scored 14 on secondaries. He got Assassinate, Mark for Death, Establish Locus, and Area Denial. Those was his 14.
Yeah, that's such a feels bad, dude. That would honestly, man, you ruined that guy's Worlds experience, man. Good job, dude. I hope you feel good about yourself.
You want to talk about ruining something?
That's okay. It came full circle the rest of the event. I mean, I had some rough games in the back half. I think probably the worst thing we need to talk about Worlds, and I know a lot of people have already covered this, is that round 6 was arguably the Worlds debacle, the Worlds drama. So round 6 across the whole event had the worst combination of mission and map layout I have ever played on in a competitive event.
Really? What was it?
So do you even know? Have you even played on the sweeping engagement deployment?
I've played on all of the deployments. I try to switch it up every time we play.
So sweeping engagement is typically not even used in most competitive tournaments. So I actually have almost no reps on that deployment the entire year because nobody uses it because the deployment doesn't fit well with any of the terrain layouts. On top of it, they picked a weird terrain layout. They picked out layout 3, which is technically one of the only 2 recommended for it, but 5 would have been better had they picked layout 5. Instead, they picked layout 3. If you have the app or you have a chance to go and see that combination, I can actually send you.
No, I'm pulling it up. I'm pulling it up.
Yeah. So
yeah, we need a visual. Jamie, get on that.
Yeah. It needs to be sweeping engagement on layout 3. Try to find that combination. It is the most ridiculous layout I have ever played on. If you are a melee army and you play into a shooting army,
Sweeping engagement's the Dawn of War style one, right? Or is it
but it's like it's a tipping point of Dawn of War, so it's tipping point long ways.
I think we actually just played this exact layout and sweeping it. Yeah, we did this on the last stream. This is when I lost to Votan against Andrew.
Yeah,
I'm
but you
pretty
got
sure we
shot
played
off
this.
the table because there's nowhere to hide.
Yeah, it was
The
awful.
whole board's. Yes.
Yes,
Here,
it was.
I have the combination.
It
Here.
was
I can
not
actually
good.
Be able to send it to you. I don't know if you can throw that up on the stream, but
I'm not gonna be able to pull it up that quick, but
yeah. So basically, for anyone who can't see it quite yet, but basically, this is the layout, and then if you can you show sweeping engagement? Basically, if you play against a shooting army, there's very, very, very few spots you can actually hide. Like you see that center terrain piece right there. Like you can kind of put some stuff behind it, but there's still angles easily to move and see angles behind it. There's the one on the left, which you can kind of hide, right? But how do you deploy 2,000 points on that board? Even if you put 1,000 points in reserve, how do you deploy 1,000 points on the board without just getting shot off the board? You can't. And to make it worse, I played against a guy from, I think he was from the Philippines. I don't remember if he was from the Philippines or Malaysia or something, one of the Pacific Island countries. And he played triple Repex Black Templars. And anyone who doesn't know what that is, the Repulsor Executioner is like one of the biggest gunboats in the game right now. It has so many guns, including 2 super powerful shots from its Executioner cannon that it has, the Laser Destroyer. It is just okay. There it is. So now put like those 2 together are gonna there you go. So as you can see with your deployment zone, and then comboed with the terrain, you really can't hide anywhere. You have a little space behind the back left objective, and you have a little space behind your center one, and that's it.
yeah, it's pretty shitty. I'm not gonna lie. It's not good.
And then you see that like how many inches did it say between that little blue piece in the corner? I can't see. It's a little too blurry.
It's 4 and 10.
4 inches. So anything big is too big to hide behind that because 4 inches is not that big. Like a guo and things like that can't fit without towing that terrain piece, which means, and then like you just look all the long lines that just cut through the map on all the
Okay,
angles.
so
Like, you can
bigger
draw
models
lines across the whole map.
Bigger models, you're stuck deploying right here.
Yeah.
You can't.
Quick
Is it the
interjection. 4 inches is big. All right. Average. Continue.
Average for what?
No, it's definitely not average.
Average. I saw it on Google or Men's Health. Who knows?
Average
dog.
soft.
Move on.
It's
Average soft.
oh man.
Anyway, yeah, it was a debacle. Everybody was freaking out about it. I remember listening to like Jack Harpster and stuff complain about it on their Art of War stream, talking about like you're either in your game playing a shooting army, loving the life because you're just shooting your opponent off the table, or you're looking at your buddy next door who is a melee army who's getting shot off the board. And I actually still somehow pulled a very close game against my opponent. And he went first, which made it even worse. If I win first, I think I had a chance to win the game. Because I could have gone out and because I can move so far, I could have tagged his repexes before they could shoot me. But his repexes just got to like open fire on me for 3. And so the repex, what it does is the Black Templar specific version. All the Black Templar vehicles, by the way, just get a free multi-melta. That's just for being Black Templars. They go, here's an extra multi-melta on top of every other gun. You don't got to replace anything for it. You just get a free multi-melta. Then the Repulsor Executioner's ability says that whenever it shoots at something that's within 12 inches of a friendly Adeptus Astartes unit, so a friendly Space Marine anything, including itself would qualify, it gets full reroll to hit. So it just uses all of its guns and just picks your units up. And he's got 3 of these. Playing into a deployment where I can't hide, it was miserable. And I don't remember necessarily rolling that bad. I do. The worst thing that happened is he had some scouts in the middle. And because of the deployment, I had to put my Ridge Runners, which is my only anti-tank and my only anti-tank shooting I have, I had to put it behind my my center piece, my center like wall area to try to get areas where I could hide them. And he was able to infiltrate with scouts. He scouted forward, and then he charged them on the first turn. And I spent like 3 turns trying to kill them. He just kept rolling saves, and I couldn't kill these scouts, and they prevented me from shooting repexes. And it was a very, very, very frustrating game and very disappointing loss. And he was a very good player, and I kind of felt like he was I don't know, he's one of those guys who like to and like he didn't have a laser, but he would argue with like the measuring tape and like kind of like bend it around like an edge, and he goes, I definitely have line of sight here. And I'm like, I really don't think you do. And he goes, no, I do. And it's just like, all right, whatever, man, it's not a big deal, go ahead. And then like I'm gonna do a charge, and I'm measuring the charge, and I'm like, okay, it's 8 inches, which is a 7 on the dice for me. And he goes, no, that's 8 inches on the dice for you. That's over 8. And I'm like, or it's over 9 or whatever. And I'm like, huh? I really don't think it is. And I was like, at this point, I was like halfway through the game. I was like, all right, man, you just want to get a judge. I never normally like to ask for a judge. Normally I like acquiesce, but it's just like, he's been doing this the whole game already. And I'm like, whatever. And the judge comes over and confirms that I'm right. He gets an exact measure and confirms that it is a 7 on the dice for me. And it's just like very fatiguing. And he's like very kind of like specific, but only to his benefit. He's never very specific to like my benefit, of course, which you can't really expect him to be, I suppose. But like, it just didn't feel super consistent. It feels like he was always like finding these little like cunt hairs of line of sight corners to give himself an advantage in some areas. And I literally had to have that moment with him where he shot me down like an alleyway when I was in combat, and I shot back at him in my turn, and he almost said I couldn't see him. And I was like, you just shot me from that same angle. And he goes, oh, you're right. Okay, you're good. And I'm like, this motherfucker. I was like, you just fucking shot me from there. How could you see me, but I can't see you? Is this something I don't know about this game?
The story, reasonably frustrating, but you were the first person that I've heard say that phrase in such a long time. I was about to lose it. That is so funny.
I don't even know if he knows he said it, actually.
Yeah, I think it just
I think it just came out, which is hilarious.
A hair's length, yeah.
Oh, the cunt.
Oh no! As he
I haven't heard somebody say that in so long. I was dying, dude. I haven't heard that phrase in so long. I felt like it was losing. I felt like it was like going out of style. But
no, dude, we're bringing it back. We're bringing it back.
Such a good word, though.
We're taking it. We're taking.
I guess that's we're talking about this guy, kind of like nickel and diming me. Really, yeah. I don't feel like he cheated. To clarify, I think that he's just somebody who really doesn't give an inch on anything, and that's just how he was. So he very easily acquiesced to me when I was like, no, you just shot me from there. And he's like, oh yeah, you're right. Okay, then fair enough. Right? Like, I don't think he was trying to cheat me there. I think he just is somebody who is like, literally doesn't give an inch on anything.
Yeah.
So I think maybe make him kind of an unfun person to play against sometimes. But outside of that, I don't think that he was cheating. I did hear a lot of stories of people cheating at Worlds. That's a whole other problem.
Dude, and you know,
it's really sad to say that.
It's funny that you say that, because I feel like cheating is way more prevalent than we realize.
I think so too.
And it really makes me like think about me as a player. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm not terrible, and I just play, you know, like, I mean, not in my local area here, but like, you know, going what's it called? Like some of the bigger events that I've been to, you know, like maybe they're and stuff. Because I got to be honest, man, like I was on top of my game there when I went there, but
LVO.
I don't know other people's armies like all the way through, you know what I'm saying?
And that's the area that I think the most cheating happened, actually, is people not being honest about what their stuff does or fully disclosing what their stuff does, which is another form of dishonesty. So that's what happened to me in my first game, my first loss. And I really feel bad kind of saying this, but I really feel like he cheated. And this is the main time I felt like I was the only time really I felt like I was cheated. I had a feels bad moment at the end of the event where I feel like a guy pulled a fast one on me, but he didn't technically cheat because he kind of put it on me and he kind of got away with something that I can talk about as well in the last game. But in the first game, I really felt like he cheated me. So what my opponent was playing was he was playing Leagues of Votann, and he was playing the Grotmust detachment. I think it's called Hearthband or something. What he told me the detachment does is reroll ones to wounds. That's really straightforward. It's very powerful ability, but also not broken really, unless he's like constantly wounding on 2s and 3s, and then he's basically almost like full rerolls to wounds, right? Like it's really good, but it's not broken. And it also gave him an extra AP and he said in certain circumstances, and I was like, okay, blah blah blah. AP really doesn't matter against me, so it really didn't come up. But he also has he had a big unit of their Terminators, which I think are called Hearthguard, a big unit of them with a leader in the unit. The leader gives them lethals, which I kind of knew that going in because I know a little bit about Votann, but I haven't really played against a new Votann yet up until this game. And he had and his unit, they used to have Ignores Cover, and he said that any units that used to have Ignores Cover now have reroll ones to wounds. So he said that about his land fortresses because he had 2 of those, and his and his Hearthguard to get reroll ones to wounds. Now, technically, based on what he said, he's technically correct. His armies do that, but I played the entire game against him, and throughout the entire game, not once, even after I lost, did he not tell me that his reroll ones to wound is only against the closest target, which I did not know. And in my opinion, he intentionally did not disclose that information to me, because you don't get to that, in my opinion, you don't get to that level without knowing a critical detail of your rule like that. You don't go to Worlds and play at that level and win your first 3 rounds against me, my buddy Dustin Hammond, and against Mike Muzeni, who's on Art of War. He beat all 3 of us back to back. You don't get to that level and do that without knowing your rules.
Yeah.
Like it's like so, and he did the same thing to my buddy Dustin. This is very, very, very important because his Hearthguard specifically, their reroll ones to hit is that also against the closest target, which Hecatons don't say that. Hecatons are just rerolled hits. So he's accurate on those, but the Hearthguard are also reroll ones against the closest target. So there was a turn where he deep struck his big Hearthguard block, and I had like an Abominate and like 7 Aberrants still alive in kind of like a weird Congo line because of a goofy charge that I did where it was a big weird multi-charge and I was trying to tag a land fortress behind a bunch of other stuff. So I was like kind of strung out. And then I had my Genestealer squad where it was like full health still with a Patriarch behind them. It may not have been full health, but it had most of its, I think it might have been full health behind them, kind of like sandwiched between them and a building. And his Hearthguard the only spot for the Hearthguard to come down that they could see my Genestealers was on the other side of my Abominant, or my Aberrants. And he only had like 4 or 5 of them were in rapid fire range of my Genestealers for his Plasma. He used a stratagem on his squad that gives him +1 strength and sustained hits, which does exist. That's a true stratagem. So basically his Plasma became strength 8, which is very important for that because I'm only T4 on my Genestealers. Mm-hmm. Strength 8, 2 damage. He's hitting on 2s because I was touching an objective. So that's what he gets. He gets +1 to hit against targets on objectives, and they hit on 3s naturally. So with those reroll 1s to hit and wound, he was full rerolling to hit and full rerolling to wound with sustained. And because of that, and a little bit of extra shooting from other stuff, he was able to kill with his last shot, literally the last shot, and a failed rerollable 4-up, killed my Patriarch to the wounds because of those rerolls. And had he not had that, I would have still had my Patriarch, and my Patriarch would have gone and picked up like 4 to 6 of his Hearthguard. Had he not done that, and I would have easily won the game at that point, no doubt about it.
Yeah, and it's literally the first thing because Andrew just sent me the what's it called? It says each time a League of Votan model from your army makes an attack with a weapon that targets the closest eligible target or a target that's within engagement range, reroll wound roll 1. If your unit is Call, Hearthguard, or the whatever Destin unit, improve the AP too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild, man. I mean, and that's the type of shit, you know, and that is kind of one of the thing that sucks about, you know, like playing at those types of events and everything, because you really need to know your shit, you know. Like you need to know your opponent's army.
Yeah. Real quick, I don't think that it has a keyword, but this is also a problem. He had 2 3-man units of Steeljacks and Thunderkin, and he was re-rolling ones with all of them too.
Hold on, I'm gonna.
And I don't think that they get it because they don't have the keyword, right? Or is it any Leagues of Votan?
We are looking.
That up.
Is it anything? It might just be everything, but regardless, it was frustrating, and he went on to do the same thing to my buddy Dustin, and my buddy Dustin was telling me my buddy was pissed.
Hey, what was it? What was the question?
I does the reroll once? Is it for every Leagues of Votan unit or only specific units?
Yeah, it's the Leagues of Votan.
Okay.
Now the
only
AP,
those specific ones get the extra AP. Okay.
Yeah. And it's reroll ones of to wound, by the way.
Yeah. And then the Hearthguard, their ability says reroll ones to hit against the closest target. That's their datasheet ability.
Okay.
So the my buddy Dustin was telling me that because he was playing knights, he was playing one big with like 11 armigers, and he had 2 armigers on 2 different objectives that he said he lost by like 4 points. So had either of them lived this exact turn, he would have gotten an extra 5 points of primary and won the game by 1 point. Now he wouldn't have known at the time that this happened, but he said that they came down, and because of the rerolls to hit and wound, he was able to pretty much exactly pick up both armigers off of the objectives at the same time, which can't be possible because only one of them can be closest. If they're equidistant, the rules say you pick. So he really,
you know, I'm wondering if it might actually, because here's the problem. So you can't even check behind your opponent unless, you know, like it's like show me your rules, which I mean you can do, but it would really be nice to be able to, you know, so like as a what's it called, as an organizer, like they have a program where they send you codes and stuff like that, you know, like Games Workshop sends you, you know, like I just got Drukari, which I bought the fucking book because they took so long getting it to me, but because I was like, well, I guess I'm not getting the fucking Drukari codes, so I was like, well, I mean, that's like my main squeeze, so I need to have that. But I think it would be kind of nice if they were to have some sort of way to like give temporary access to like all the codexes if you're going to an event like that, you know, like a Worlds event or something, where you can check, just not even have to ask your opponent. You can look at their you know, everything they have access to instead of fucking relying on your opponent.
Yeah, and you know the thing is like, it's always the ones who are like the nicest that you would never expect to cheat are the ones that always get away with it the most, because
they're doing it. Yeah,
they're striking as that type of person. He was a very good player. He did a lot of very deliberate movements and measurements and stuff. Like he was a very calculated player. He wasn't somebody who I felt like was not playing by intent the whole game. He wasn't even trying to nickel and dime me like the guy later in the tournament. Like we very easily came to agreements on like line of sights and stuff, like very easily, and intention. We always talked about intention, like what our intention is, and we both agreed like, yeah, cool, okay. And like it was a very friendly game, honestly.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, but of course, because he knows he's getting reroll wound rolls to 1 on everything, so he's like, yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, don't worry about that.
Yeah, man. And then the worst thing that happened, I still almost won that game. I had a pretty big feels bad moment where I had with my secondaries and the mission. I think we were on. Here, I can tell you actually because I have it.
So Natty, while you're looking at that, the community actually does do that. It's not legal by any sense of the word, but there are places that you can find all that stuff.
Wahapedia is usually the.
Yeah, Wahapedia. There's a bunch of Reddit places you can go that have all of the stuff. that's like that.
Yeah, but when you're having to focus so much on the game, it's kind of hard to read through a wall of text whenever you have so many. I mean, I'm somebody who plays very slow and have a very slow brain. If you put an extra layer of me having to check after my opponent into that, I mean, I obviously wouldn't be there in the first place. Not that competitive a player, you know. But even somebody top of their game, I feel like that's an extra step that shouldn't be there.
Well,
Like,
you
should
got to
not
think
have to,
they know their
you know.
army front and back, dude. Like, you know everything that your army does, so you're not having to look. You know, like sometimes we're playing, we need to look at our shit, and we're like, oh, fuck, wait, hold on, what is it? No. There is none of that when you go to something like Worlds. Like, those, you don't have to look up any of your shit. You know all of your strats that you're going to use. You know what the cost is. You know all of the stats for every one of your data sheets. So, like, I think it would be beneficial. I think it would be cool to have that type of shit. In fact, it might not even be bad to require players to have a printout of their strats and their army rule.
Yeah, like
Andrew's
Corvals
like
at least,
3
yeah.
steps ahead of you. Read the chat. Having a tablet at each table
Yeah,
with the
for real.
codexes. Yeah.
Who said that?
I do think that would pay Andrew.
Yeah, that is totally my plan. That's
Yeah.
like my plan is to have tablets at every table. Eventually, I want to do that at my
Yeah,
tournament.
just have like you can like preload before the game starts. I think that would be super. And like when somebody has a question like, "Oh, could you just show me that?" Then they could pull it up, you know. And you could check after people.
Yep.
This is a question kind of brought on about what Cody was talking about. This game's getting a lot more popularized, and it's moving into the realm where a lot of people are taking this as a job. As
Yeah.
it's gotten more popular, have more and more people kind of been gaming it a little bit whenever you play against them because they want to keep the reputation of being a good player. Is that becoming more popular?
Hey,
I've seen
do
it
you mean?
talked about, but
I guess.
for someone in Worlds,
Hey, real quick, guys. I have to go to the potty. I'm a little pee-pee boy. I'll be right back. You guys go ahead and talk. I'll be right back.
What do you mean, John?
so I've seen it. I've seen it on YouTube, but obviously I have no firsthand experience. Whereas you've played with some of the best players in the world. Is the game getting with the pressure of this being their job? Do you think that's having people play a little bit differently? Maybe a little bit less. Like you said, that guy was friendly, but maybe the intent there was to be friendly, but doing so he could get away with some stuff. Is that becoming more popularized, or do you think that's just like a one-off?
I don't think it's. I think the more experienced I've become, the more I'm catching people doing it. But the more I really think about it, the more I realize that people are. I think have always been doing behavior like this since the beginning, like playing something wrong on purpose, right? Because they can get away with it. There's actually a few people in my local area that have a reputation for doing this, and it's like these people. I think that it's not any more popular than it used to be. I think I'm just catching it more than I used to because I'm becoming a stronger and stronger player, so I see it happen more often.
That makes perfect sense to me because
Yeah.
as someone relatively newish to the game, and I mean I'm never really competitive. If me and you played against each other, you could make up 90% of your rules, and I
And you'd believe
probably
them,
would not
yeah.
catch it as long as they were believable. Like
Yeah, of
like
course.
the one you like the what was it? Reroll of 1 to wound.
Yeah,
I would just take it at face value. That seems
Yeah,
like
that's what I
like
did.
something GW would do. Yeah,
exactly.
the wool would be unless they're saying some shit like everything has a 2-up save and I have a 1-up feel no pain. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
brother. Like
Unless
I
it's
would
really
catch,
outlandish.
Yeah, I would catch maybe some stuff after
But,
playing
like,
a few games.
A prostate pounder. Oh my god. But yeah. I mean,
Sorry.
no, I was just gonna say yeah. I mean, like an example is I still remember a while back where I played against this guy who I got like weird vibes from him in the game, and I beat him pretty bad in the game. Like he wasn't a very like strong tactical player. Like he didn't play the game very well. Like he understood his rules. He understood basic mechanics and stuff, but he really didn't like play the game super strong. But I got a weird vibe from him, like he was saying numbers wrong on purpose. Because I don't. I just something like like hit me and like it was kind of like you just felt like a little thing in the back of your head. So I looked up some of his rules during the game as I was like curb stomping him, and he was just actively playing rules wrong, and I was like, okay. I mean, it's just not even worth bringing up because I'm beating him by like 30 points already. But like,
It do be like that sometimes. I
it's
guess.
just wild.
Before it gets too far up. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Doc said if I know someone is a cheater, I want to practice games with them. That's real tournament prep.
True.
That's a good. I didn't want to. I didn't want it to get like lost in the sea of.
If you can beat
text, I thought
somebody
it was
while
cool.
they're actively cheating, yeah, you're doing
Actually, I guess I'll call you Docs on here, even though it's not your real name. It was actually at Hey Wanna Play, the guy I'm talking about. It was this guy I played at towards the beginning of the year. I'll never forget. He was playing CSM and he had a Master of Executions, and he has an enhancement on them from like one of his particular Chaos Space Marine detachment. And he rolled up into me with this guy, and he's like, he's got 7 attacks and dev wounds, and I'm like, oh my god, what is this? This guy is on T, bro. This guy is jacked.
He truly is
came
the
in,
master of executions.
and he rolled like he went into like a Gua. I think I was playing Great Unclean Ones and stuff or something back then, and he rolled up into them, and he rolled like it was 7 attacks. He because he dark packs against sustain and stuff. He rolled like 8 hits, and he rolled like 6 dev wounds and like one shot my Guo, and I was like, well, that's a thing. And it didn't really matter. I think it was the first model of my army he had killed, and I was like, I'd probably table him next turn. And it's just like, well, okay. I mean, it is what it is, I guess. And I looked it up, and the guy, no, the model has 4 attacks base. The weapon, his enhancement gives him a 5th attack, not 7 attacks, 5 attacks, right? His damage characteristic was off. He said it was 4 damage flat. It's 2 damage base increased to 3, not 3 damage base increased to 4. Considerably different. And I was like, whatever. I'm not gonna say anything. Like, this is not worth it.
Was this an ultra competitive setting?
No, it was like a GT down in like Plantation, but it's just like it was more or less like I don't know. I think the guy knew what he was doing when he was cheating, but he wasn't a strong enough player that it was worth me like confronting him about after the fact, because I caught him right in it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. There's been a few times a baseball bat would have been nice. I played it years ago. I played it. I don't even know.
I like that actually. I would love to just beat someon in the head with a baseball bat when I catch him cheating.
I played it
outside
Atlanta Warzone, in like I think it was like 6th edition. Believe it or not, the only time I've ever played Space Marines. My buddy had an army that was painted. I didn't have anything painted at the time, and he was like, "Dude, we're going." And I'm like, "All right, fuck it." I played White Scars, and that back then you could put shields on the bikes. I don't know if you can anymore, but that you could put like shields on the bikes. That was like a 3-up invul, and you could put meltas on everything, and that was back when meltas were basically like Dark Lances. Now is like. They were really good. It was D6 plus 3 at half range. So it was actually a pretty scary list. And I was playing against some dude he was playing a what's it called? Like a Tzeentch heavy demons army. And the guy was just cheating back and forth, just getting like measuring and then measuring again after he moved and then moving it back and then measuring. And then getting more inches from moving back and measuring, and wouldn't have like basically kind of the same thing you dealt with, where it was like he was kind of allowing himself all of the, like the take backsies and everything, but not allowing me to do anything. And he charged me and he did something. This is years ago, and honestly, I had been like, they had waitresses that were walking around like serving drinks to us. And they were super hot, so I was definitely just like, yeah, sure, I'll buy some fucking drinks. So, like we had been drinking and shit like that, but there was something happened. It was like the 3rd turn, and it was like the third or 4th time I'd caught him like basically like cheating, and I'm like, listen, man, I was like, I'm here to have a good time. If this game is that important to you that it's worth sacrificing your character, and sacrificing like, you know, your integrity. I was like, just take the fucking win. I don't care. And he was like, oh, cool. Thank you. And then just fucking like was like, like zero,
Nice.
like absolutely no remorse whatsoever. He was just like, awesome, cool. I'm like, dude, this is.
I'm glad. I really don't want to have to keep cheating like this. It's really starting to stress me out.
Can you imagine? That's hilarious.
Thank God. Get
I
out of
ended
here.
And this is back when they had the Super Friends. Hey, what's up, Jim? They had the Super Friends shit going on with Space Marines, which I think, Cody, this is before your time, but it was you could have
I played games Super Friends.
in 6th edition.
Yeah, of course. I played back and forth.
Oh, did
That's when I
you?
started.
Why did I think I
I've
didn't think
playing
you've been
for like
I-
15 years
Oh shit. Okay.
or 18 years.
I
But,
thought-
I mean, I technically started playing when I was like in like middle school, but really I started playing the game at the end of 4th, like the very end of 4th, which I was still in like senior in high school. That's like when I started playing the game.
Oh fuck. Okay, you've been playing longer than me. I started in 2009. But freaking
Yeah, that was 2009 was the end of 4th.
yeah, I got in like right when 5th came out.
Oh, okay. It started 5th. Yeah, so I started. I really got competitive and like really started playing at the same time as you, basically, just probably a couple of months earlier.
Yeah, let's not remind me of
started
how
playing
much
at that
older I
time as well.
am. So
Not much.
This dude's about to
Not much.
downstream.
like
I
dude,
just
I
looked
had
younger.
I had just got back from Afghanistan when I started playing, and you're like, oh yeah, I was in high school.
They said middle school, dude. Don't give
Middle
yourself a
oh
couple
fucking
extra
middle
years.
school, Jesus
No,
Christ.
no. When I started playing in 2009, I was a senior in high school.
Okay.
Okay, so
I was
actually
17. Yeah,
yeah, we're not too far off.
So
I
I
guess.
would have been close in middle school.
yeah I'm 33. I know I don't look it. I know I'm devilishly handsome for 33, but
Oh, wait, you're 30. I'm 32, I think.
Yeah, dude.
Andrew, we don't want to hear it. Jesus, I fucking. Young.
Well, I'm a year ahead of you there, Seafoam. But freaking I ended up playing against the next game I played was against one of the tournament organizers that was there to like fill in, you know, for basically like what John did, where he was just like kind of filling in for buys and stuff like that.
yeah.
I played against him and he told me like right at the start, I was like, all right, I'm gonna rush up and I'm gonna shoot all of these meltas at your face and you're gonna die. And he's like, bro, he's like, I gotta be honest, I'm here kind of just to fill in, and this list is disgusting. And he's like, you're not gonna be able to do anything against it. So I shot him, and like they did like the old passing off the wounds bullshit. You know, it's like, okay, he takes it, he passes it off to this guy gets a save. He misses it, so then this other dude gives him a 4-up, feel no pain. And like literally at the end of my first turn of shooting where I thought I was actually going to kill something, like nothing took a wound. And I was like, all right, I see what you're saying. I was like, go ahead and we'll just take the win. And he and I just sat and talked for a while. And I was like, bro, these people are ridiculous. I was like, I have played against some of the worst players that I've ever played against here. I was like, I haven't been playing long, but I got to be honest, I don't think I'm going to come to another one of these. This is ridiculous. And it ruins the game for everybody. You know what I mean? Like when people cheat.
For sure. I'll never forget another, like when I was living in North Carolina for a little while, that's when I really started going to tournaments for the first time was in North Carolina. And I'm trying to remember what edition it was. Do you remember when they had like the formations? Was that 6th edition? Might have been 6th edition.
I think that was the Super Friend shit. I think those were the formations.
So in 6th edition, there was this detachment where it was a Zinch detachment, and what the detachment gave you was something like reroll ones to save, I think, for Zinch demons. If you're within, or it's like reroll ones to saves, but you had to take 9 units of Zinch demons, is what the detachment was. Zinch's number or whatever. And I remember taking a whole army of exalted flamers of Zinch and like Fate Weaver and Lords of Change and stuff, and just like this ridiculous army. And then with spells and like AoE spells, Malefic Discipline, you could get all of your Zinch demons to be a 2-up invulnerable save, reroll once.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I played against that. It was the somebody was doing that with the little manta ray looking things. What are they called? Screamers. Somebody was doing
and,
that
and
with
a
the
lot of people
screamers
were
too.
doing that with the seer councils. We're still doing.
Oh,
that. They had,
yeah,
three different
yeah.
days. They were using like protect and fortune or whatever.
Yep. It was I actually
so-
stopped playing Eldar at that time because it was not fun to play. It was not fun to play against in like my meta here. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna give it up, and that's when I went Drukari actually.
Oh, 8th edition or 7th or 8th edition, something like that. Yeah.
And look at him now.
And I still remember when I went to
now.
probably one of my first tournaments. It was like a 3-round tournament, but it had like 40 players, so it was like pretty big for like 3 rounds. And in the third round, I played against this guy who was playing it was like the first ever Space Marine like detachment. I think like the first ever Gladius type detachment. What it gave you was free transports. Every time you took a unit, that could go inside of a Rhino or a drop pod, you can take a free Rhino or drop pod.
Oh my god!
I think I remember
why
that.
Is that why was that ever thought to be a good idea? What?
Yeah, well, it was back in the edition where like everything's broken, so nothing's broken, right? Like,
Eldar,
basically
Eldar was so gross back then.
Yeah, and I was like,
it's balanced.
nothing of mine would die in the game. So the only weakness of my army is that it like didn't control objectives very well, and it was slow. But I just shot everyone off the board, and I was unkillable because I had a rerollable 2-up. As long as I didn't fail my spells, and I had like +2 to cast on spells that went off on like 6. So as long as I rolled like a 4-up, I like automatically casted my spells. And like as long as I didn't fail the spells, I was like unkillable. And I played against this guy who I remember that he was very late getting to the table. We're playing 2.5-hour rounds. He was very late getting to the table. I'll never forget this. This is like gonna haunt me for the rest of my life. And we roll off for deployment. He deploys first, and he puts down like a whirlwind in the back, and he's like staring at the board. I'm not kidding you. He's staring at the board for almost 30 minutes. And at some point, I'm finally like, bro, are you gonna put anything else down? And he goes, oh, I'm done deploying. I'm just waiting on you.
Oh god.
When were you gonna tell me that? When were you gonna tell me that? Only
great.
for us to now, at this point, because of how slow he plays. My first time, if you haven't picked up on the story yet, this is the first time I ever got slow played. And we only played 2 rounds.
Dude, that is
because he could outflank on the second battle round. He came in, stole all the objectives with it because that's what he did. That's what his army does, and he won the game.
That's so fun.
I mean, obviously doing it to do that, to cheat, to do it on purpose, but like if he didn't do that on purpose and that was actually just him, where he's done deploying and he just powers down like a fucking like he is literally like an NPC, just like I am done deploying, and then like just stuck in this.
Dude, you woke him up with a command prompt.
Well, I'm not even kidding you. Like it was one of those things where he drops the whirlwind like this, and then he kind of like sits down and he goes like this in like the thinker pose, and he's like this for the rest of the game, or the rest of the 30 minutes.
That is awesome.
You waited 30 minutes to say something?
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe our whole deployment took like 30 minutes.
All right, so we're dealing with two bots.
20 minutes.
2 bots playing against each other.
Yeah. First, you gotta remember that this is my first ever tournament, right? I'm trying not to be an asshole.
Yeah,
But at some
he's
point, I
trying to
finally like worked up the courage to basically be like, "Hey, man, like, are you done deploying? Oh, I've been done. I'm just waiting on you."
That dude,
What?
that entire time was like, this dumb fuck. It's been 30 minutes.
He's
probably like taking little peeks. He's like, "When's this guy gonna say something?"
Like
We're gonna be halfway through the game.
not looking at you on purpose because he's gonna start giggling.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, he can't even look at me. That's also what kind of like threw me off. Like it made me think that he was really thinking at his deployment because he wasn't looking at me. He was like staring towards the board, and I was like, maybe he's like really just planning out. And at some point, I like kind of sat down, pulled out my phone, and looked up. He's still fucking staring at the board. I'm like, all right, man, I don't know what this fucking guy's planning. And I'm thinking, also me being conceited and shit. I'm probably thinking in my head at that time because I'm young, dumb, full of cum, and I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna fucking blow this guy out of the water. Like he's not even gonna be able to hurt one of my units. He really's got to think about this game. He's got to think so hard because he can't even figure out how to hurt me.
I like to think that in my mind he got in the thinker pose and he was like imagining all outcomes of the battle and waiting. He was just like, man, it could go this way. No, probably not that way.
No.
Maybe it'll go this way.
Dude, in my brain, it's funnier to think that he just powered down. Like there's just nothing.
Yeah.
It's just empty. You know, like
It could have been fate weaving, dude.
He could have been fate weaving.
I was playing Fate Weaver against the true Fate Weaver.
Yeah, you played against the real fate. It's like a Sun Tzu Art of War kind of thing. It's like you must envision the battle that you will be in, or something.
Yeah, like, you can't lose battles you never fight.
Yeah, that's also very Sun Tzu. That's awesome. That's such a fun. I would, dude, to be a fly on the wall for that. Just this guy's just,
dude. Hold on, before we move on, like
it'd actually be like me.
There is no fucking way. Like I am John. You know when John? All right, so I'm sure everybody has seen John and I play. When he takes like 10 years doing something, and I'm like, dude, are you gonna fucking roll? Like, fuck, you know, like there is no chance in fuck that if somebody sat there for 30 minutes that I would just be like, all right, well, I would have been sitting there like staring. I would have looked at him, looked at the board, looked at him, looked at the board. I'd be like, dude, are you gonna fucking do something? Fuck, like silently just raging inside, you know, because I'm like, God damn it. Like, dude, I have terrible, what's that word? Road rage. Like when people take too long making a turn, I'm losing my shit inside of myself. Like Wiley, I missed something that really pissed off Kyle. Now I'm sad. Cody was just telling us a story about one of his first tournaments that he went to, where back then when you would deploy, this was back in like 6th edition or 7th or something, and you would deploy your entire army first, and then your opponent would deploy their entire army. So the guy deploys his army, doesn't say anything, sits down and goes into the thinker pose, like he's still deploying but thinking. But
also the reason it looked kind of like he was really thinking is because he put down a single whirlwind, a single model, and a huge model of models, because he didn't tell me like everything's an outflank. That's what it was called back then. That's why I didn't
so
know,
there's
I'm
still
done deploying.
Yeah, there's still models like that look like they need to be deployed. Yeah.
Yeah. 1,800 points of models.
I'm over here. I'll roll my dice for like 5 extra seconds for good luck, and Kyle's like, "What the fuck are you doing? Roll the dice."
No,
we have a game to play. And I'm like, "Oh."
Okay. No, to be fair, we will be playing, and John, I can watch his mouse. Hold on, I'm gonna pull up a different screen so you can see what I'm talking about.
No. He's lying.
I can watch his, because you can see on.
Another joins the cult of the cursed dice. May the odds be as they may.
Oh, Docs, thank you so much for the sub, man. Definitely appreciate it.
That's what we call you now. You've lost your old name. Now you have your new name. Docs.
Yeah, we can't dox.
Docs.
You don't want to dox. But we'll be playing on what's it called? Damn, that just threw me off. Thank you again for the sub. Very much, very, very much appreciated. We'll be playing on TTS, and you can watch like the opponent's little hand thing moving around, and John will be not talking, not doing anything, moved everything, and you see, like, hey, look at the screen. This is what he does for like 10 minutes. He just does this, and then I'll be like, dude, are you gonna roll? And he's like, oh yeah, like he forgot. And then he'll grab his dice, and then he'll sit there for 10 minutes going like this.
I shake him.
I shake him.
I gotta get the luck. How does the luck get into him if you don't shake him?
And and I'm already probably pissed off because my rolls were terrible. So I'm like waiting to see what type of dumb shit's about to happen. And he'll just sit there and go, "All right, dude, are you ready?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "All right, just shaking the dice." I'm like, "Motherfucker, just roll the goddamn dice." Fuck.
And how does it roll? Tell him how it rolls.
It does.
Baby.
It does. It does roll really well. I will
I'll be
give you
praying to the whatever dice go to, you know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
that. Jesus Christ! I
Rub
thought
my
that
hands like a
said a
fly.
whole other word that starts. Sorry, freaked out is one thing. I missed it. So there's a style of playing Hearthstone. Roper. He's a roper.
He's a roper. Ooh.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, roper. Yeah, it's not what I thought when I was thinking roper. It's like a never mind. Ropes. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking. Anyway,
Nope.
all right. Well, let me explain. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
You gotta shake it before you bake it. Classic. So Andrew asked, any strats or tips from the top end of the Warhammer community that you can think of, in terms of playing at the higher level gameplay? Like, I don't know. That's about as far as I can go with that line of questioning.
Sure. I think what is really important, and if you play those top level opponents, you'll see them try to do this with you, generally speaking. But it's very important that you kind of make some ground rules at the beginning of every single game, right away when you talk to your opponent. Like you already establish things like does do that person reroll cocked dice, or do they keep it? And I like to establish this because I have seen people also try to cheat in this way, where they will re-roll cocked dice when it's a bad roll, and they won't re-roll it when it's a good one. And that pisses me off to no end. So every single time I go, I establish, like, are you going to re-roll your cocked dice, or are you going to leave them still? I don't care which one you do. Honestly, I couldn't care less as long as it stays consistent.
Yep.
Whenever I roll in my dice tray, if it bounces out of my dice tray, I'm going to re-roll it. If it's not completely flat in my dice tray, I'm re-rolling it, good, bad, or ugly. Don't care. That's how I'm always going to play, and I establish that.
I was going to
also
say
always
that
establish-
go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, if it's about the dice, and go ahead, because I'm going to move on to the other things that I established.
Yeah,
before the game.
I see people so many times bring a dice tray and like they'll be rolling in it and then it'll bounce out and they'll just take it if it's a good hit.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, well, what's the point of the dice tray? Why do you have the dice tray?
Yeah. So I after like that or before that, I always establish look, I always play by intent, and I'm actually okay with you going back on stuff so long as it's obvious the intent, or you verbalize the intent and you just forgot something like that. Like, as long as we play by what was intended, that's what I care more about, because then it's going to lead to the most fun and the most competitive game, right? You're not going to win because somebody kind of I wanted to do this, but I forgot kind of thing. Like if you this happens to me, I'll charge 6 times. I have 2 really important charges and 4 not as important, but also charges. And because it'll be whatever the value of those charges are. And I hyper focus because I'm ADHD and I laser locked on my 2 important charges. And I just forget about this charge on the side of the board that I need to do. And it's important because I needed to move my models, but I'm going to wipe out the unit. So it was just very low on my priority list. Like 2 Sisters of Battle aren't going to live from 5 aberrants charging them. It's just not going to happen. So me remembering to do that, sometimes I forget about it, or it's behind a wall and it's out of sight, out of mind. Those moments where I feel bad about asking it, but I always play by intent, and I would do it in reverse, and I'm always like, oh shoot, I already started rolling attacks here, but do you mind if I just roll this charge really quick? We both knew that I was going to do that, and most of the time, there are opponents who won't let me do that, but most of the time, 95% of the time, even at the top level, the player's like, yeah, of course, we both knew that was a very obvious charge, right? If we went through an entire fight phase, and then he started moving, that would be way too late to go back on that. But intent is important.
Hey,
Oh, I got a new follow.
Defender of the Dark Queen. He. Thank you so much for the follow. Sorry, I like that. That's nice.
It's just he, dude. You said he 3 times.
Oh, I did say it 3 times. God damn it. All right, let me do it again.
Do it again.
Defender of the Dark Queen. He. Thank you so much for the follow. Very much appreciated. We are just discussing, believe it or not, we were discussing Cody's experience at the World's Championships. he got to attend, and he did pretty well.
Actually, just to give the question to Cody, Defender of the Dark Queen, he asked, could they be good with T-Suns? Because that is their favorite army. I did see one list do really well in Worlds.
Yeah, there's a few Thousand Sun players. Mike Muzeni is kind of like one of the top Thousand Sun players. If you follow him, he's like one of the Art of War guys. He has some really good Thousand Suns lists. I definitely think that you can be a very strong player with Thousand Suns. I think that they're a very high skill cap army. I think that they do really, really well if you play them right, but it's very easy to get crushed every game. I think we actually talked about this recently, didn't we, guys? About T-Sun specifically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is deja vu right now for me.
Yeah, they're definitely one of those. It's like Emperor's Children. Emperor's Children get their nut very quickly, and if you don't, and that I say that
they get nutted on.
No pun intended. And Daddy Panda's asking me to pronounce Defender of the Queen of the Dark Queen. We're gonna have to say that every time. The last username was hid. Wait, hold on. Hid.
I don't know if that's correct.
He hid. Yep, that's about as far as I can go with it.
Yeah, you sound like a robot just then. That was cool.
Did I sound like a robot?
In you. Yeah.
Should I do it like in the Daddy Chill? Like the.
Yeah, do it just like that.
No, I'm not gonna do that. I was just kidding. It's not happening.
Dude, you can't. What's the first rule of improv?
Ah, damn.
Gotcha.
I don't know. Is there a rule?
Yeah, there is a rule. You never say no. Yeah, improv. Like the first rule is you never say it. Well, all right. God damn it. No, I'm not doing it.
He told me about this. Because there's this very specific situation where I was like, no, because I thought it would be funny. But he's like, you never do that in improv. Well, now.
Okay. Whoa. I was not upset about it. I wasn't like, you never do that in improv. Like that's the behind the scenes of Wicked City Gaming is like just John just getting fucking just
it was
verbally abused.
It was a dramatization.
Dramatization.
Yeah, there we go.
It was a anemone.
Yeah, that word kind of caught me off guard. I didn't think I'd be saying that today, so I didn't get a prep with my speech exercises. Dramatization.
The Human Torch was denied a bank loan. That's the speech. Never mind. Clearly, you don't know what I'm quoting.
All right, we're getting far away from you pronouncing that.
I can't, dude. Hit. No, I can't. I can't do it. Cody told me that his daddy chilled when he started playing Imperial Guard. Yeah. Yep.
It's really cool and he wants to play them.
Unique New York.
Unique New York.
Thank you for picking that up, Unspoken Paper. I think we probably hit all the points that I wanted to hit on what's it called? On Worlds. Actually, no, that's not. I would actually like to hear as I know we talked about the deployment being bad, like the sixth game where the deployment was bad with the what's it called? The mission rule. Yeah. I'd actually like to know how, like, overall how the tournament was put together, like how, was the terrain, like, how was the terrain situation? How are the tables
That was
situation?
actually the question I was going to ask. I had that written down because I was like, but did they have space though?
Oh, because we had a ton of space.
Yeah, we had so much space. That's so nice.
Yeah, dude.
You asked that question.
I am gonna try my best to keep that a thing as best as possible for our tournaments, because I really hate when you're nut to butt at a fucking tournament and you're having to scream at your opponent for them to hear you because everybody's super loud. You know what I mean? And it's also nice having little courtesy tables like we had where you can put your food or put your models. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
I just don't like bumping into people.
For Worlds, the space was okay. I mean, basically what it was like probably rows of like sets of like 4 tables and 4 tables and 4 tables, like side to side all the way down. And there was enough space to play and not have to feel like compact, but also like there wasn't a lot of like extra space around the tables. Like there was a little sliver of space between each table. And like there was a lot of times where it's like an awkward moment where like you and the guy next to you are kind of wanting to both use that space for your models and your dice trays and stuff. And like trying to figure out whose edge of the table you're actually supposed to be, who's like because there's one on the edge of each table. So like whose space are you using right now? Or is it my space or your space? Like other than that, it was fine. The terrain was all okay. It's all like the GW module, like GW terrain kits. So sometimes the terrain didn't match their own layouts. But that's not like that surprising. They have for real. But it's not that surprising. It's 200 and something tables because they had like 411 players this year. And then they still had all the other games that they play. They have Age of Sigmar. They have, which I wanted to talk about that while we're on here too. But Age of Sigmar. They have Necromunda tournament, Kill Team. They even have Warhammer Underworlds. They have the card game, which is that Underworld?
Yeah,
Underworld's a card game.
I'm pretty sure it is. How was the judge situation? Because I know we had some problems with LVO, like the judges actually not knowing some of the basic rules.
No, so the judges themselves were good, but like I had a moment, man, in one of my games with the judge, and it was in my 7th game. Yeah, the 7th game. I lost to the sisters list that I lost to at your tournament. I basically lost to it again at Worlds.
Oh no!
Very, very, very good player that should have been. The game came down to like a couple 4-ups in a row that he made with Morvenval and the Shrine of St. Catherine. They both were left on 2 wounds. And I failed to explode on Morvenval 2 fight phases back to back, which means that like on 2-ups, and either one of those would have won me the game because I lost by 4 and I had Assassinate for her for I lost by 3 and she was worth 4 on Assassinate. And either one of those explosions would have killed her and by minimum damage, and I would have won. And I rolled 2 1s to do it, and she made some bunch of 4-ups before that. But anyway, long story short, there was a crazy ruling by the judge, which neither of us were expecting. So, do you understand the mechanic of being 1 inch off the wall and what that means?
Yes, we can explain it, but yes.
Okay. So, engagement range is 1 inch. So that means that if you and most bases now are 32 mils, which is just over an inch. So the theory is that if you are 1 inch off the wall is at least a millimeter thick, right? So that means you're like in theory 1.1 inches from the other side of the wall. That means a model cannot put you into engagement range from the other side of the wall. But there's also, because you're 1 inch from the wall, not enough space on the other side of the wall to fit their model, so they can't charge through the wall. You are functionally immune to melee combat while 1 inch off the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you have a rule that gives you extra engagement range, which only exists in very, very rare circumstances throughout the game. So I have a stratagem for my army, which is very powerful. It says I can do a 6-inch pylon and consolidates. And not only can I do that, but I can also ignore the closest model so long as I end as close as possible to that unit still, to the closest unit, right? So in theory, it could allow me to steal movement, right, and get really far with a 6-inch because I can ignore that closest model as long as I still end as close as possible to that closest unit. Well, I wanted to pile in around this wall that I wasn't able to fight him through. And that way, and get to an area that would allow me to consolidate onto his home objective and steal his home objective from him. That was my intention. This was on battle round like 1 or 2. So I was doing the same thing I'd been doing to everybody, caging him in his deployment zone. Except this time I was about to steal his objective with 10 aberrants. And I think it was linchpin as well. So if I remember right, so he really needed to hold that home. I was going to deny him a ton of scoring. So the problem came in is that him and I were disagreeing about where I could and couldn't pile into, and based on the pile in rules. We both had slightly different interpretations about what was going on. So we got a judge, and the judge came over and he read my stratagem and he pulled up the rules and clarified everything. And what he basically ruled is that because my specific stratagem says I must end as close as possible to the closest unit, that means that the closest possible, instead of going around and being behind all my other models, as close as possible was actually right up against the wall where I couldn't swing, because that's the physically closest spot. That's 1.1 inches away. I wanted to be somewhere else that was further up the board, that was further than 1.1 inch away from his unit. 1.1 inch away on the other side of the wall was actually the closest physical spot. So that means by using this stratagem, it forced me to put models in places that they can't physically swing, despite there being other places that they could swing with that normal pylons might have been able to get them into, which was a very, very frustrating ruling, which technically it makes sense, it's logical, but I've never seen an interaction like that where my stratagem hurts me rather than helps me.
Yeah.
I hope you're satisfied with your CP usage. Have a nice
No,
day.
I mean, both my player and the judge told me that because of the extreme circumstances of the ruling and the pile-in and the fact that we kept moving models around, that I could undo the stratagem usage and bring my models back to a state before the ruling.
That's pretty cool.
Well, yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Did you do it?
Less of it feels bad.
Of course I did. It was gonna force 5 of my 10 aberrants to do nothing on the other side of a wall.
No, I'm just,
Chill out.
I was just kidding, man. I figured you did it.
Oh, I did have an interesting moment. I'm actually curious about what you would do. I had an interesting moment where intent is very important here, in my opinion. And both the guys that I went with to Worlds and stayed with, or like played with in the 40K event, that were not my buddies from the narrative, but they both think that I didn't do the right thing here. But there was a spot where my aberrants were in a spot on the side of the board. He rapid ingressed some battle sisters on the side of the board because in his deployment zone that he wanted to use to shoot me, right? And he's got a bunch of multi-meltas and stuff in the squad. And I said, okay, well, he did that. He measured 9 inches, right? I play out my entire turn. And then at the end, I'll go, oh, you know what? I think I'm just going to go ahead and do that charge over there, right? And I roll the charge. And remember, a 9-inch charge for you is an 8-inch charge for me because I get +1 from my army, right? So I'm rolling an 8. Now, a re-rollable an 8 is like a 72% chance or something like that. So I'm comfortable with re-rolling 8s on charges for charges that I don't really need. But I was like, if I get this unit down the line, like that actually could be really strong for me. So I was like, you know what? I rolled it. I rolled like a 4, and I was like, you know what? I had like 2 CP at this point. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and spend a CP to re-roll this charge because if I land it, it's not a super important one, but if I get it, it'll set me up for the rest of the game. So I rolled it. I rolled a 10, and I got it. And he goes, whoa, wait. He goes, did you know that my unit is further back? And I was like, what do you mean? And he goes, well, I was like, aren't they 9 inches away? He goes, no, I set them up 11 away. So make it so that you wouldn't charge me. And then he showed me the measurement. He's right. He did set them up. But when he first was putting them up, he measured 9 away because he was rapid ingressing. During movement and stuff, I guess I didn't realize that he actually scooted them 2 inches further back. And he didn't verbalize that to me. So I was unaware that he actually intentionally set them out because when he first set them up, he set them up 9 inches away. He had a 9-inch measure that he put between our 2 units, set his unit up. I go, okay. I start moving, and he actually, during that time, actually scooted them further back, which is what he wanted. He didn't want them to be 9 inches away. He wanted them to be 11, so I didn't charge him. And then, so here comes the issue now. Would I have spent the CP knowing it was actually a 10 on the dice that I needed, not an 8 on the dice?
No.
I wouldn't have. He's right. The intent, I would not have re-rolled the CP if it was a 10 on the dice. But the problem is now, I rolled a 10. I have a 10 on the dice. What should we do? Should I keep the 10 now that I know that I can land the charge, or should I take it back and say, no, you know what, you're right. I wouldn't have re-rolled the charge. In fact, I wouldn't even declared there. I would have declared here and charge this unit that's right next to me that I was going to ignore, right? How would you handle that situation?
I would have been fine with keeping it, and I would have been fine as the opponent if you had kept it, because it was.
I agree with you. I think I would, if I was in his shoes, I would have told my opponent. I mean, you rolled it. I guess like keep it, right? I'm not going to take you go back.
Yeah.
But he really did not want me to do that, and I also was in a situation where I acknowledged that intent. I play by intent. I would never have done that charge at all, knowing it was a 10, because there was an easier unit I could have charged that wasn't as important of a charge. I didn't really want to charge them with that unit, but I was still comfortable doing that charge. So I just did a guaranteed charge there instead, because that would have been intent, and that's what I was playing by, because I think intent is sometimes more important.
Yeah. To me, it's like, if that's what you were going for, he didn't disclose to you that he moved it 2 inches back. So it just so happened that you made the roll that you wanted. So like, I feel like nothing happened. Like obviously something happened, but I mean, intent wise, it all kind of worked out just because your dice rolls allowed you to do what you wanted to do. I would have been fine with it. I would have been fine with it either way.
Yeah.
Charge was impossible. His fault. Keep it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and you can only go off of, like, the dude's putting out a 9-inch measuring stick and then putting things down, and then didn't show you that he would, or didn't make it obvious that he was moving those models back. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause you're probably moving other things or doing something else, or, you know, looking through your phone for a fucking, you know, whatever. I don't know. I would have been good with it.
Sorry. Just for my clarification, when you said, okay, I'm going to charge these guys, did you say, like, you know, because they're 9 inches out, I'm going to charge? You charge, you fail, and then you re-roll, you spin a CP re-roll, and then when you make it, he's like, oh, no, those guys were further back. Was that the sequence of events, or was it a little different than that?
Yes, exactly, actually. So whenever I charge, because my army is +1 to charge, I always verbalize what I need. So I always will say in this way, I'll measure out. I'll say, okay, they're 7.4 inches away from me. Let's just say that. That means I'll literally say, okay, just over 7. So a 7-inch charge, that's 6 on the dice for me. That's what I always say.
Yeah.
I always say it like that.
Yeah.
And then I roll the dice.
I need
That
to
way
show a
there's
6.
zero
I need
confusion.
to show an 8. I need to show a 7. Yeah, I do the
What
same
I
thing.
need on my dice is what I verbalize on every charge. That way there's no confusion. I don't want there to be a moment where it's like, I say it's a 7-inch charge, and I roll a 6, and I get it, and he's confused. Or I say a 7 because I'm talking about for me, and it's actually 8, and he's like, no, you need more. And I don't want that to ever be it. I always verbalize the entire sequence, so there's no confusion.
And John, that's a good point. So did he? When
No, Roger, don't forget that you. Oh, sorry, Docs. You can't declare a charge if they're over 12. You have to be 12 inches or less to even declare a charge.
Yeah. Your +1 to charge doesn't mean anything if they're over 12. But John, that's a good point, though. Did he correct you when you said what you needed to show?
No, and this is another problem with this thing. So I verbalized this, and then I roll. I didn't get the 8, and then I CP'd it, and I rolled a 10. And then he realized what was happening. He was right there next to me. But the problem is that you got to remember that at Worlds, only like 3 of my opponents' first language was English. And this guy was very French. Like, very French. So...
Dude, that's like another portion.
I'm not saying there was a language issue here, but there could have been. He may have been, like, processing the things that I'm saying and, like, not realizing that there's a discrepancy there.
That is
right?
something...
He may understand the words that I'm using, but not applying those words because of the translation to the game at the moment. Now, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt here. I don't think... It didn't feel like what he did was try to, like, something shady. But still...
No, yeah, I mean that's something I haven't even considered is the language barrier. You know, everything we do here in the States is obviously in the States. Well, I mean that was in the States too, but Yeah, I like when I was at LVO.
Everything we do in the States is in the States.
Well, yeah, that was a dumb
Trees
statement.
are a lot like trees.
That was a dumb
It's in
statement.
the state word.
I'm saying like it's mostly English speaking is what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
But like I haven't even really considered dealing with like a major language barrier during a game like that. Would be dude, that would be terrible. I would hate that.
Yeah.
Because
Something
I'm a dumb
unplayable.
American, man. I only know like 1.5 languages. I can slightly speak Spanish, like slightly.
I would say that opponent is the one that had the thickest accent of the entire event that I had the most language barrier issues with. But not enough that you can't play the game. At the end of the day, they shouldn't be coming to the event if they don't speak strong enough English to play, because at the end of the day, the event literally says that the primary language of the event is English, and you are to speak English in your games. The only exceptions to that is if you and your opponent share the same first language and you speak to a judge and he agrees that you can play your game in a different language. You have to get judge approval.
Oh wow. Okay.
Otherwise, you have to play in English.
Still though, man,
So if you're not,
I'm one of those
if it's in the
people that
rules, yeah.
I have a real hard time with accents. Dude, I tried
Oh,
watching
really?
Peaky Blinders,
Yeah, it's
and I have to fucking, I gotta have, dude,
subtitles.
I have no idea what the fuck is going on, man. I gotta put subtitles on. Anytime there's like thick English accents like that, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck these guys are saying. You know, like my wife is cracking up watching the, like watching a show, and I'm like, I am fucking lost. Like, it is very frustrating. But John, were you gonna say something, man? I'm sorry. I know I kind of cut you off.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that. I mean, with that being said, that I didn't know that the actual tournament stated, like the language will be English. I think it's a little too late after you spent the CP and rolled it. That's your roll. Like it's not a oopsie. That's not. You weren't supposed to do that. Even if it's your intent, you're kind of being gamed. So I don't think it would be unfair for you to take the 10 and make the charge, because your intent was the same. You wanted to charge a 9-inch unit, happened to be further away, but you got it and no one stopped you. You asked the question. You even said 9 on the dice, and nothing, no stop. Even if it is taking a second for the language to catch up, the tournament's in English, which I didn't know. That's a good disclaimer for future tournaments if they get a lot of people. But yeah, your intent was good. I think it was the time for him to stop you. He missed it.
Yeah. I mean,
it is what it is.
both of my buddies told me that they would not have done what I did, and I recognize that me going back is probably what I think most players wouldn't do. To be honest, most players probably would have fought it and said. But also, at the end of the day, like, it's important to recognize that I wasn't going to win the tournament, right? Like being really strict and hard on that one moment might cause an altercation with my opponent that makes the game less enjoyable for both of us, right? And I may take a small sacrifice in that moment so that I can keep staying true to playing by intent. And the intent was that I wouldn't have charged. We both, and everyone in here probably recognize that I wouldn't have charged that charge. I had to clarify, I had a unit of sisters, like three girls that were on an objective that I was already gonna charge, but I could fail that charge. I was charging it with some acolytes. I could fail the charge because it was like a 7-inch charge or something, and I may not kill them as well in melee, and that would be really bad if I failed to. And then I have his squad, and I have 5 aberrants, or 4, I think he killed one, so 4 aberrants and an abominant that is 3 inches away, which is a guaranteed charge for me to the sisters. Or if it was an 11-inch charge, which is a 10-inch on the dice for me, I wouldn't have even done the 10-inch, because what I didn't want to happen is that unit to get stuck out in the open, because if I charge the girls behind me, that lets me pile in and consolidate onto the objective and put more OC on the objective, so he can't steal it from me, right? So from intent purposes, I never would have even charged that long charge had I known. But if it was a 9-inch charge, rerollable 8, I kill them, and now I'm in his backfield, and it's a whole different intent had he been closer.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get what you're saying. I think you're and kudos to you for being, very intent driven, which, I wouldn't knock. I just
It helps the state. It helps like the player base of the game. Like when you play against good players, you draw more people in the hobby. Whenever people are being constantly shitty, it's going to make people not play this game and it fall into obscurity. So, I think you did do the right thing. But from a like tournament standpoint, if it was someone who like really wanted to fight that and go, no, he never told me, I think you would side with the player that because I mean they did never tell them.
Yeah.
In my
like
opinion,
if I was on stream and top table, I might have been more inclined to like kind of push because it's like winning the tournament. It's like a little bit different than like I'm at this point. I was like 4-2, right? Like I can't win the tournament. We're also in the last day of the tournament. This is round 7, right? Like both of us are 4-2. I'm not gonna win a prize, right? It's just about having fun now.
Yeah, I guess in that situation, and I think we're kind of beating a dead horse, but I feel like honestly, either way that you went would be the right way to go. I don't think there was a wrong. If you would have kept it, you'd have been good. If you gave it up, it's just you're good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I don't.
Better.
Yeah, and it's just super honest, very honest.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't think you were being dishonest. That's what I'm saying. Like I say, super honest, but that implies that there was dishonesty going on. I just don't think that that's the case. I think you just it's the same outcome. You just rolled one number higher than what you thought you needed. But
yeah, and like I said, I did not feel like he was. I didn't get the vibe that he was trying to hold something on me, or try to trick me, or
it's language
try to like
language barrier for sure.
It may not have been a language barrier. He might have just like kind of like spaced, like sometimes like an example of this is in the last game, I think my opponent did pull a fast one on me. And I think that my opponent in the 6th round did what I did. Like, we're late in the tournament. Each of these rounds are 4 hours. You have brain fog. You've been playing nonstop Warhammer for 3 days and you're into your 4th day already. A lot of these people have flown thousands of miles to be there, right? Like everyone's exhausted. I don't know about all these other people, but I slept with 2 chainsaws in my room, so like I couldn't barely sleep the whole event.
Yep.
I was fucking exhausted and drained. So, like in my last round, I played against Shadowmark Talon, and I was just done with the game. So I just literally deployed everything of my army on the line and just shoved it. And if I win first, and I literally said it to my opponent, I go, all right, you ready to see who wins the game based on the first roll off? Because like the way he deployed, if I go first, I just win the game. And if he goes first, he probably is going to shoot me off the board and he's just going to win the game because of the way I deployed. So I was like, all right. So we rolled off. He went first, but he like, I don't know what his issue was, but he kept asking me what the strength of my aberrants was the whole game. I was like, my strength's 7, my strength's 7, my strength's 7. Before the game, during the game, throughout the whole game, I think I told this guy like 6 times that the strength of my weapon is strength 7 on my aberrants. On the last turn, I'm totally brain fried. I charge his Dev Centurions with a 6-inch pylon and consolidate strat. If I kill his squad, I'm going to 6-inch consolidate to his home objective and win the game. And I have 2 chances to do this, really, because I can kill him in my turn, and then if he... Okay. Anyway, so I charged him. I was unlikely to kill him, especially since he used AOC. I do 2 damage a pop, and he's 4 wounds. I have a chance. I had 10 aberrants. 10 aberrants on the chart is 40 attacks. I hit on 3s, which isn't super helpful. Because of Armor of Contempt, he's going to be saving on 3s. When I tell you I rolled the best roll of the entire tournament for me, I rolled it right here. I rolled 36 hits.
Oh, wow.
On 3s out of 40 dice. I only dropped 4 hits. Right?
That's where I would biff the fucking wound roll.
Yes. Now, I wasn't even that excited at this point. I didn't even really rationalize like what had happened. I was like, oh wow, that's a pretty good roll. Right, and I pulled my dice out.
That's a pretty good roll.
That's how burned out I was by this point.
Also, about the dice you pick up too. Oh fuck!
And I have to say that this guy of the whole event was the most annoying person I played against the whole event. Like he just was a cuck. Like I don't know what else to say.
Oh no!
And when I was playing against him, and And then remember, now Dev Centurions are toughness 7. I just played with them at my last tournament before yours. Like, I just used 3 squads of Dev Centurions. I know their stat line by heart, and I don't know why it just didn't register when he said, "You're wounding on 5s." He said that to me. He verbalized it to me, and I go, okay. And I rolled my dice, and I rolled on 5s, and I don't remember how many wounds I got, but between my wound rolls and his saves, he barely lived. He lived with like a model and a half left, right? Or sorry, I think he lived with 2.5 left. Yeah, 2.5 left. And because he had a big 6-man block, I think I already killed 1 in shooting, so he had like 5 guys left. I killed him down. Anyway, so he during that time, he and then so like basically he takes his guys. He got 2.5 left. He falls back with a stratagem, allows him to fall back, shoot, and charge. So he fell back. He shot me, killed a couple guys out of the squad, and then he charged me, and he does some damage on the charge. I pick up my dice and I roll, and I go, wait a second. Why the fuck am I wounding on 5s? And he goes, well, you're strength 6, right? And I was like,
bro.
And I just had to walk away for a second. I just had to walk away. I came back and I go, bro, I've told you like 7 times now. This is like the 7th time. I'm strength 7. And he just didn't say anything. Literally nothing. He just kind of like looked at the table, kind of fumbled with some dice a little bit. Like, it was very awkward.
Wait. Did
And
he
I was
happen
like,
to,
whatever.
like,
And I rolled my dice. And I think that he pulled a fast one on me. Because I've told him the whole game that I'm strength 7. And I should be wounding on 4s because he's T7. Why did he think randomly at the end of the game that I was strength 6 after telling him the whole game that I'm strength 7? And I think that I genuinely, just the way he said it, like, why is the more I think about it, it's like, why is he telling me what I'm wounding on? I mean, we're both at Worlds. Like, I don't need to be like have my hand held to the tournament, right? Like, and it's the first time the whole game that he's ever told me what I need to wound on. It just the whole thing was very weird. And I think that he was one of those things where it's like, hey John, you got to wound me on 6s. Okay. And then later on the road, why the fuck was I wounding you on 6s? I don't know. Just because I said so.
Dude,
I called it out and I got away with it.
Dude, wait, hold on. I gotta say this before the moment passes. After you said that to him and he said nothing, did he like just slink back into a corner and sit down in his chair and watch you?
Yeah, but he got like real meek. He was kind of like, he was like looking at me like this, kind of like hands on his table. And then when I said that, and he goes, and I go, bro, I told you. And he kind of just like, he's like, you know,
oh,
like,
he got me. You weren't supposed to. You weren't supposed to remember. I've been putting some juju on you by saying, "Hey, what's the strength? What's the strength? What's the strength?" And then whenever he says it, you're wounding on 5s with such confidence. It's, dude, you just got played by the rules of power.
And to put this in perspective as well, doing the math, right? That's 6 extra wounds. That's an entire extra body dead on his Dev Centurions, which means when they fall back and shoot me, they don't kill me as much, right? And then if he charges back into it, and also he probably wouldn't even have fallen back or done this whole thing, or maybe he would have just fallen back. But I was bottom, so I still could have. I would have just moved on to the point. As long as I wasn't stuck in combat, I could burn his objective because it was the scorched earth. I just need to be on his objective with not in combat at the end of the game to burn his objective. So by having that extra model, it allowed him to do all these things, which I don't know. The whole point of me saying that was just that I had like that mistake happened because I just was burned out. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's also why the French guy didn't catch on to what I was saying about my charge roll in that exact moment.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
More than just a language barrier.
If he was going to do the right thing, he would have removed another model. That would have been the right thing to do. And then I would have been like, well, go ahead and put your stuff back. I'll take a model off. I'll re-roll my rolls, for what I have left. Yeah, that would have been the right thing to do. But anyway, well, I don't know if we're gonna get to talking about the Blade of Ultramar. I was kind of wanting to touch on that.
So
a little bit.
The reason this whole thing was an issue is because I didn't realize that I was wounding on the wrong roll until after he had already fallen back, shot me, and charged back in, and then I was fighting a second time now on the end of his turn. That's why it was kind of weird to go back and do the reroll, because there's been so many dice rolled to say how many exact rolls that I didn't wound, because I don't remember how many wounds I had and how many of them were 4s and not 5s. Because I remember I removed all the 4s from my dice tray and that I should have left in there. How many 4s did I had? I could have had 12 4s in there that I removed, or I could have had 1 4. I could have had a very bad wound roll and only had 1 4. Like, it just was too far.
Yeah, that's a feels bad. I mean, it's like after you're like, fuck, that's shitty.
Yeah, I mean, you might be able. You hope that he was just brain dead too. Like, that's what you would hope, but realistically, probably not.
I just saw. Did you not watch the reenactment Cody just did? Posture tells all. I saw that posture. That dude.
I
that
told
dude,
you, the whole thing was
was
weird. The
doing.
more I play it back in my head, the weirder it all sounds. I think he just tried to pull a fast one on me, and he pulled it off.
Anybody that does
He scammed
that,
me.
Yeah.
I bought one of Kyle's gift cards for him.
No, Andrew, I'm tracking, man. I gotta change. I thought I changed it last time. I don't think I saved it.
Well, it's gonna happen next year at the same time.
Yeah.
Swapping it, so it's not wrong.
I know I saw it earlier and I was like, I'll just keep it in there. It's coming.
It's not wrong. It's coming.
But yeah, man. Well, I hate that it sounds like you kind of had a little bit of a shitty experience, and I hate to hear that. I mean, I'm sure you had fun overall, but
yeah, I had 2 games, I had 2 shitty opponents. One game that I had a fun opponent to play against that I found out cheated me, but overall, I would say still the most fun playing Warhammer I had of the whole year. I 100% want to go back. I just think that, honestly, I did not have an experience like this last year when I went. Last year, the tournament was even more fun. I felt like it was a tighter group of players. I think adding the extra 200 players that or 150 players that they added changed something in the event.
Yeah.
Just a different quality of people.
A victim of their own success, you would say.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Success victims.
Yes.
Scheming.
Well, I think that we have probably a couple more GTs to get down before we're going to be getting the opportunity to get a what's it called? But who knows? Maybe we can get one. Maybe we can pull one out. A ticket.
Golden ticket.
Yeah, golden ticket.
Apply for it next year.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna apply for it. You know, whether we get it or not is totally different. Natty, I actually didn't get to read that because I was desperately trying to. I am so bad at doing 2 things at once.
It was essentially every time when you play a game.
Pressure of your hand flips the card over, and if you do, that card is yours now. 40k. You take 1 model from each opponent you defeat, and the finals are played with armies made exclusively of those taken units. That would be cool, but unfortunately, that would be very expensive. In fact, we used to do something similar for the Chambrero back in the day, because that's something that we do. Last place gets Chambrero, which in our next tournament, we are going to have an actual, like, full-on sombrero that's going to have a big old thing on it that says Chambrero. But what we used to do is if you got the Chambrero, you had to glue on one of your models onto the sombrero to show that, like that was you earned that fucking what's it called. And we actually had, it was funny, you know how like sombreros have like the little dangly things that go around it. We had little spermies. Like I glued a bunch of little sperm things on there that went all the way around, which obviously we won't be able to do, at our GTs. That would
So it's the same but different.
Yeah, it's a Chambrero, just not as sexual in nature.
Not a spermbrero.
It's
anymore.
not a spermbrero. But yeah, man, I hate to hear that you had bad opponents, but it is the nature of 40k sometimes, unfortunately. And it seems like I'm really glad that we're getting more and more. I still got the trophy somewhere. Yeah, dude, you need to find that. it seems like these cheaters are getting caught more and more because there's a lot more eyes on with streaming and everything. So I am fully prepared this next time. I didn't want to stream this last time because we didn't have the personnel available to kind of run the event and also stream. So I'm really hoping that we'll have that ability on this next one. I'm like 90% certain we're going to be streaming the next GT. So and definitely when we start getting the narrative driven events that we're going to be doing, because like we're talking to some of the guys that run like the D&D stuff in this area. They want to be a part of this event that we're going to be doing. So we'll have like D&D one shots going on. We're going to have like the same thing that you were talking about earlier with the I forgot. Oh, Worlds, where they have that narrative stuff going on.
Yeah, the narrative.
Yeah, we're going to be doing stuff like that. John and I are probably going to be in some sort of full cosplay. I don't know what I'll do next time. I got to do something different, but because I did the tech priestess last time, so I got to figure out what I'm going to do.
Slaneshi cultist, I think, is an idea thrown around.
Yeah,
So
just
looking like the guy from Dodgeball.
Just wear assless chaps.
And the little like thing that goes around like the pony.
The ball
So
gag.
like the leather X.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to tell you before I get off that I'm pretty sure I'm going to play some AOS this year. I want to go to some AOS tournaments.
Oh shit,
dude! I
go
do
again.
love the AOS model lineup, man. It is definitely.
There are way cooler models.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't put that kind of love into the 40K stuff. They do on some of the, you know what the problem is they push Space
Fantasy
Marines.
looking 40K models.
They push Space Marines so hard, and Space Marines are just so fucking boring to look at. Like that's why I don't play them. I hate the models. They're very blocky, just very like, and I get it. It's like the point, like but I can't stand it. That's why I love Drukari models so much, because they look cool. I love the whole vibe. And I
that's
just,
why I like Ow.
nah,
Tau.
dog, Tower,
Tau.
no, Tower dumb,
really cool.
Tower dumb looking.
No, really cool.
But yeah,
Little
like
fish people.
I do have a full army of Night Haunt that I haven't played in forever, so I'd be down to get a game in.
Yeah, we should play on TTS. I played a game the other day to kind of learn the rules again. The game is so much better than it used to be. Like way more balanced.
It was a
way
lot
more
of fun when
competitive.
I played in this last edition, because the new edition just dropped. I mean, it was a lot of fun.
It's the new edition and 2 balanced data slates.
Okay, so they're starting to give a little bit of love to it. That's good to hear.
Oh yeah, I mean the game's balanced now. Feels really good to play, and the only reason I got interested in it is because when I was at Worlds, I was looking at the AOS tables, and they seemed like they were having a lot of fun, and the models are fucking gorgeous. I think I'm kind of leaning towards like a Heathen Knights of Slanesh army, and then having it sent off to get commissioned.
Hell yeah, dude.
Oh shit. How's Alley?
Gotta get my 40K or my AOS Fulgrim out. Sigvald the Magnificent.
I actually have a bunch of Hedonites of Slanesh stuff, so yeah, I could actually run like a whole fucking army, but I don't like the terrain, how the terrain works and all that stuff. I will say, like, there's some stuff about AOS that I'm not a fan of. I think it gets a little convoluted. Maybe they fixed it. I don't know. But it is a fun game, and the models are fucking gorgeous. There was something else I wanted to say about it, but I think I just totally ADD'd out. That being said, like I said, we were going to go over Blade of Ultramar, but I know we're probably losing you. We've been on for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go over my Drukari list. I guess I'll just throw it in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, please join the Discord so you can find out when we're let me throw up, because I don't know if that one that's in there is working anymore. I got a lot of work to do, guys. I got a lot of stuff to fix, because my shit's fucked up, I'll just say it now. I'm fucked up. It is what it is.
He said it.
I did. I said it. But if I actually, what sucks is if I put it in there. John, can you put an invite in the chat? Because if I get off,
I can indeedy.
But Cody, I certainly appreciate your time, man. It was actually really nice to hear. I haven't talked to you about this, so this is kind of an actual real conversation that we haven't had yet, because I've been super interested in what you've had to what your experience is like. So,
one quick thing, Cody, before you go, do you know what happened to Sigvald the Magnificent in Old World?
What do you mean?
What happened to him? How he died?
Oh, I don't think so. No, I actually know a decent amount about Old World too, but I don't know how he died. What happened?
At the end times, he was teamed up with a troll. Forget his name, but Sigvald's
Throg?
like, yeah, Throg. He's like, this dude is so ugly. So he basically like killed Throg, but Throg was able to regenerate. And after the battle was over and he was all tired, Throg beats him to death and then just pees on him. And it's like, dude, how unceremonious for my magnificent boy, because he's such a fun character.
Yeah, poor boy. And, you know, that's also when Slanesh was captured.
That link should be good.
And Slanesh as a god got captured in End Times.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
End Times was crazy.
Meat Canyon's on right now. We should raid Meat Canyon.
Yeah, raid Meat Canyon.
Meat Canyon?
We're all talking about Warhammer. Oh my gosh, a raid with 15 people. He's got like 1,000 people watching him. Or plus. It's like, oh.
Who the fuck is Meat Canyon?
Oh my god,
He
dude,
does all those cartoons.
You need
like
to check him out.
The really
He's
cool art.
He's phenomenal. 02.
Yeah, he's cool, dude. That link in the chat is should be a fresh Discord link, my friends.
Awesome.
Okay, so.
Well, again, I appreciate it, and I think maybe on, damn it, and then Morthai escapes from Slanesh and tricks a bunch of other people to help her attack and hide Slanesh so she can siphon off souls and become a god. I missed that whole thing. Sorry, I was talking to the wife.
Classic Marathi. Little minks.
But anyway, I really appreciate everybody hanging out, and we will see you on the next one. I think our next stream is gonna, like, where we're together, is gonna be December
13.
Yep.
And maybe 12 too. I don't know if we're doing both days, but
yeah, probably
definitely 13.
Probably 12 and 13. But we're gonna get stuff in before then. I need to get games in. I got to get some reps in. I suck, and I need to get better. So
and tomorrow will be Total War Tuesday. Stay tuned for more rat cosplay. I'll be putting the rat mask back on because I captured Carricate Peaks. Huzzah!
But all right, guys. I appreciate everybody hanging out. Cody, thank you again. And we will see y'all on the next one. Bye.
See ya.
Hope that's the last thing they heard. Me